This is Dancy Sings Big, first song. To look for my Mr. Right. More songs are on the way. Please turn on CC for lyrics. Several years ago, I lost my husband for good. And loneliness was not just for fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. But because COVID-19 has come, everybody's confined at home. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself.
Hello everyone, how are you? I'm just gonna dead air and see how long I can keep an audience. No, seriously, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well on this Thursday evening. We got a lot of Chud stuff to look at, so let's just dive right into it. I don't really have a lot to say. I don't know. We have right-wing watch and right-wing cope that we're going to look at. Ben Shapiro is going to take on the pride flag being flown at a military base or something. Terrence Popp is going to make a drinking game out of his family because he needs more excuses to drink, apparently. We might look at Red Pill God. We haven't looked at him for a while, but... Tim Pool talks about, quote, vaccine segregation, air quotes. Blackwing Hecate says, well, my ears are bleeding, thanks. You're welcome. Bryson Gray's gonna talk about the Bible. Good title, Bible Talk, come get offended, in all caps. Bryson Gray said some dumb shit on Twitter I had to correct today, too. That's fun. Elliot Hulse has a whole talk that he gave at some conference called Make Women Wives Again. So we're going to check that out. Oh boy, my mic is coming in real hot. Hold on. La, 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 la. Okay, sorry. Just checking. Vegan Teacher has a new video on iNabber. And John Doyle has a trailer that he made because he's coming back. Quebeca Lynn, thanks for subscribing for 4 months. You know, we might as well start with this. Let's take a look at the trailer for John Doyle's return. Because, yes, John Doyle made a trailer for him coming back to YouTube. It's bad.
Literally go away. The utter state of political
He's going to have new videos tomorrow, so look forward to that. Michi Scientist, thanks for subscribing for 2 months. Nick with 24 bits says, this is as cringe as he thinks democracy is. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits says, RE the vaccine segregation, quote, I'm concerned about the Baptist church across the street. They segregate themselves in places like that. Lots of old people and vaccine hesitancy. People are dumb. 73% to level 1 of the hype train. Profane Priestess says, got drawn into being transracial is just like being transgender, end quote. Apparently the complete lack of evidence for transracial dysphoria means absolutely nothing. I'm so tired. How are you, Hannah? Not great. But it's personal shit. So. What are we gonna do first? Well, let's find something to watch while we do the hype train. Because I don't want to be doing the hype train while we, get into some of the other stuff. What could we watch while I do this? Logart says, hype train with 100 bits. Thank you. Seems like my video display window isn't sized right. It might not be quite right. I can adjust it. Bardlock Moses with 1,000 bits, thank you, says, with my management job, I missed the Monday and Tuesday streams. Here's some bits for missing those. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I wish JonTron wasn't a chud, because he's funny. Clockwork Van, thanks for gifting a sub. Thrash Mio with 100 bits says hug a Pomeranian or hug a Shih Tzu. I gotta look those up. Pomeranian. Definitely not a Shih Tzu, because my grandparents had one and it was a little piece of shit. It was an asshole. Birdie Strange, thanks for subscribing with 4 months, says, you helped me through my work day. I'm glad. I hope your day's going well. Thank you, Fresno12. John's a chud. He is indeed. It's a shame. Marusama says, I don't know who still watches him, but if anyone wants to leave their condolences, Seth Andrews, a.k.a. Thinking Atheist's dad, died. Oh, that's a shame. Quig the Chig says, it's hot and gross. Have some biddies with actual biddies this time. Thank you. Ashiboo74 with 7-month subscription says, wow, 7 months. I can't believe it. The time just flown by. You've been a consistent source of entertainment during my long days of work, and I appreciate you so much, Hannah. Thank you. eTune2350 says, hey, Hannah, I've been in the process of possibly moving out of my mom's house, but the guy renting out the room hasn't gotten back to me in 3 weeks, so I'm scared it might be off. Ooh, that's not good. Can we watch Spooky Rice? What's Spooky Rice? Blackwing Hecty says, I have watermelon. I hope you enjoy your watermelon. Did CC do anything? No. I just need something for the hype train. We're 34% to level 3. Vontuck says, there's an old PS3 game where you can play as a pack of Pomeranians at the top of the food chain after the extinction of humanity. Tokyo Jungle. That sounds familiar. I'm going to spend so much time looking for something that the hype train's just going to be over. Yak sausage.
Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back. I guess. So we're doing
Grin, thanks for 100 bits.
Today. This is the first time that we're going to be using a traditional grinder. There's a reason people don't use, old grinders anymore. It's easier just to throw something in a
glad you got to catch the stream, Hibana.
Rather than, good God, hours. I actually think this has the wrong attachment on it, because this says that this is a bread crummer. At the end of the day, I think we'll have some pretty decent yak sausage. Before the internet, if you wanted yak meat, you needed to know a really weird guy. Game meat's typically a very lean meat, and you need as much fat as possible to not make a dry sausage. This is still frozen in the center. This one's a little bit more frozen. It's easier to cut that way. That's a little wet. That's looking a little wet on the camera. This isn't gonna be enough fat to not dry out the sausage, so I'm gonna incorporate some pork fat with it. But the first thing we gotta do is cube this up into like 1-inch pieces. This is a little bit too thawed. You want this a little bit firmer than that to cut. Look at how lean this meat is. There's no fat there at all. This one's a lot more frozen. This is about the consistency you want to cut.
Red Werewolf, thanks for 20 bits.
So when this was originally
And Alpha Marioc says, Sargon is so far gone, he's Bowser in the opening cinema of Mario Power Tennis.
This doesn't fit the
What did Sargon do now? Kirthin says, yoink, I assume becomes the stream boss. Bardlock Moses says he actually knows what he's doing. Oh yeah, he does sausage. Fryserburn says, I don't know how into the Power Rangers comics you are, but Humble Bundle is offering 46 of them in digital comics for $25. Oh, that's cool. Are they the Boom comic ones, or? Vast Lunacy with 200 bits. Thank you.
Completely missing the plate underneath it.
This is disgusting.
What the hell is this? This is quite a workout.
What the fuck?
Here. Hold on, I'm sending in some reinforcements. There can only be one king of Sausage Town, baby.
This is awful and I hate it.
This is the original meat spin. I'll tell you one thing.
Meat spin. 70% to level 3 with a minute left.
Grinder. Now to season this thing, we're gonna keep it pretty simple because we want the taste of the yak to really shine. Salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika powder. Mix it all up there.
One Speedy Yoshi says, as you know, I'm the biggest fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, or at least in your chat, and this is making me conflicted. It's a tweet. Scott Cawthorn, well known as the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, and less known as being a Christian funny, maxed out his political donations to Republican candidates and PACs in 2020. That doesn't surprise me. Before he did Five Nights at Freddy's, he made Christian games. So that tracks. It sucks, but that doesn't surprise me. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community, bringing us to 82% of level 4.
A little easier. Days go by, let the sausage hold me down.
Tube Man, good evening, Hannah and chat.
Like
Has
some
anyone
yak
seen the
sausage?
Elder Ring trailer? I have not.
Oh. Probably be a good idea to put casing on the tube at some point. In 3, 2, 1, let's sausage!
Quig says, reminds me of the meat packing plant I used to work at. Yeah, that would make sense.
That doesn't look bad at all. I'm in a linking sort
You want a
of
hot
mood.
dog now?
How
Don't let
about
your
you?
dreams be dreams. Go get you a tube of meat.
I got a good feeling that this raw yak is gonna blow. So, will it blow?
Krizia, thank you for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs to the community.
Yes, it did. Look at that. Came right out of the tube. It's almost like its own show. You know, we'll cook that up too. Why not? Well, you know, I'm gonna give that. Will it blow? 1 Mark Ruffalo's.
We're at 158% of level 5. We've done it. Speedy Yoshi says, on the other hand, people tracked it. He donated over $1 million to stuff like St. Jude's, We or whatever the one with the panda logo is. Oh, the World Wildlife Foundation. A Five Nights at Freddy mod who had cancer and was losing her home, stuff like that. Cognitive dissonance. Chapomon with 100 bits says, Hype Train, hope you and everyone in chat are doing well today. Well, thank you.
Let's open them up and see how we get.
Overprotected Atheist, thanks for gifting a sub.
It's certainly sausage-like. Give this guy its own personal taste. It's exquisite. One of the most flavorful sausages that I've ever had the pleasure of making. The yak meat is extremely tasty. It tastes like a very clean meat. I say let's forget the bun and let's just try this sausage as is. So,
I want to try this
here we
sausage.
go. Folks, this is an experience. Just amazing. It's so
Fairly
juicy,
CC, thanks for
so
subscribing for 6
flavorful.
months.
I can't get over how good it is. I've never
Welcome to
made
the third
anything this good
trimester.
before. There's only one score that this could possibly be. This is a 6 out of 5.
A 6 out of 5? Wow.
Bop, bop. This is why you get like the Meat Blaster 8000. instead of ham.
Someone make me yak sausage. Minute and a half left on the hype train, and then we will start things out proper. Clava Faustna, thanks for subscribing for 5 months. Happy Pride to you as well. Has he ever done a 6 out of 5? That's the only one I've ever seen. So, who are the most powerful Ranger teams ever? No, I shouldn't play that. The company that owns the Power Rangers is very, very unhappy if you use their clips. Mike Mack says Zeo. Hasbro did buy them, didn't they? Maybe it was Saban that was a dick about that. Clava Faust, like, or Foos, like Oos, nah. Clava Foosna. I guess gotta think about it like it's a dragon shout from Clava Foosna. I wonder what that shout does. Hydrate. Thanks for the level 5 hype train, everyone. Much appreciated. Let me see if I can fix my bangs a little bit, and then we'll start the show. Dr. White says, let's give all our praise to our Lord and Savior, Rem Lazar. Is the voice in the right ear? It's an instrumental air quote version, but it sounds like someone just manually went in and tried to remove the voice track, but you can vaguely hear it still, like really quietly. So it's mostly the instrumental, but there's still like the ghost of Rem Lazar's voice whispering to you. Have I seen the original source material, Super Sentai or Kamen Rider? I have not. I've heard it's good. I know. Will I be showing the John Doyle preview for his new set? I showed this. The trailer.
Literally go away. The utter state of political discourse.
They say Californians are living the dream.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fix the aspect ratio on this before we go forward. It's a little better. I don't know. Go with that. I know, I'm nailing it today, everyone. Hold your applause. Logard says, in Chud news, the crying Nazi Chris Cantwell makes some new friends. What is this? Okay, I'll read that in a sec. Mike Mack says, thoughts on Loki? I thought it was really good. Excited for the next one. Next episode. Nick says, unironic rage comic face in 2021. The boomer is strong with this one. John is the most boomer-esque zoomer that's ever lived. It's honestly fascinating, and he should be studied by scientists. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, man. Do the stupid thing. We're live, damn it. Is it actually gonna work? Maybe. That doesn't look right either. Damn it. It'll do. It's too much head space now. Whatever, it's close enough. A cleanse if I want it. Thank you.
Here's our live camera looking out toward near San Francisco, out toward the Marin Headlands here. So we actually have some sunshine for other portions of the Bay Area, down toward San Jose, East Bay neighborhoods, but still some stubborn overcast here over the city. Look at this.
He totally checking out the camera, Mark.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
This is so cool.
Yeah. I might need a little more time for this weather segment because we have a little visitor.
There he goes.
And it's like, okay, I've seen it. I'm done.
Perfect timing. That's
Outta
all.
here.
That's just that was a little short-lived visit, but interesting there. So our live.
Mike Max says, I can't believe Disney made Owen Wilson a badass. I love Owen Wilson's character in that. He's cool. Let's see. According to a letter filed with the Western District of Virginia as part of the ongoing lawsuit against him for his involvement in Unite the Right, Christopher Cantwell has been transferred to the Communications Management Unit at USP Marion, one of the only three CMUs in the country. What's a CMU? He accidentally typed CUM. Don't Google that on stream. CMU. Well, of course I'm going to get Central Michigan University when I type that. Someone tell me what CMU means in an incarceration context. Because I don't know. Let me see what this says. United States District Court for this deputy clerk. Concrete Masonry Unit. The Western District of Virginia, Charlottesville Division, Civil Actions. Oh, that... God, I hate reading other people's handwriting. Plaintiff versus Kessler. Defendant Cantwell. Contact status update for June 2021. Communication Management Unit? But what does that mean? John Doyle can't get accepted to Cum University. Logart says, CMU is a total communication lockdown, except your lawyer. Marion is primarily... Arab Muslim inmates, but also houses several notable white supremacists and actual terrorists. Okay. Very strange. Anyway. For the second time in as many months, I have been transferred to another correctional facility and stripped of all my papers and other property. I am currently in a quarantine unit at the United States Penitentiary, Marion, Florida. From here, I am to be housed at the Communications Management Unit, which I understand has some special restrictions. Right now, I cannot make a phone call, and the last communication I got from the court told me to call the clerk about a status conference. Okay? So it's just about him being restricted? That's funny. Fuck him. And then Nick says, quick vid before the shit. Okay.
Vegas Golden Knights for back-to-back games this weekend. Team Teal took the L in overtime last night, and they were looking to avoid their third straight loss at the Tank. The Sharks playing their seventh straight game at home. They've been, and this is not the Sharks that we're talking about, but the Sharks did lose tonight, 4-0 the final, and we'll be back right after this. The San Jose Sharks hosting the Vegas.
Someone on the production got lazy. What, the thing says sharks? Okay, let's find some shark B-roll. You guys watch the Mighty Ducks reboot on Disney Plus? It's pretty good. Did I see the clip of Louis Gohmert suggesting we move the moon to solve climate change? I heard about it. I read an article. Strike that. Reverse it. I didn't read an article. I read the headline to an article about it, so I didn't even read an article. feel I should be clear on that. Okay. Let's start out with some good old-fashioned right-wing cope. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh no, what did Caitlyn Jenner do now? I hate Caitlyn. I hate her with a burning passion of 1,000 suns.
But how big is the budget itself? How big is the current budget?
Well,
What do you want it to be?
All I know, because I've worked with Jim Brulte on this subject, and we've had meetings on it and looked over the entire budget.
The total budget is around $200 billion.
Yeah.
And you know, as somebody running for government should know that. What should the total budget be if you were governor?
You're trying to pin me down on putting an exact number out there.
An estimate would probably be fine.
The revenue is raised through the citizens and corporations.
We know what taxes are, Caitlyn.
Right now, we are the highest taxed state in the union.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the
And they also have one of the best economies.
is as
Jesus Christ, Caitlyn, get fucked. Mike Mack says, iCarly reboot, even though it's a sequel. I'm actually excited for the iCarly reboot. Guys, I don't know if you might have considered this, but as someone who has primarily made a living through the internet, making YouTube videos and Twitch streams for the past decade, since I was like 17 years old, iCarly as a show makes a lot of sense to me. It's a group of people who make YouTube videos for a living. I get it. Tube Man says, the only Mighty Ducks I care about is the 90s cartoon. That was so weird, right? Why did they do a Mighty Ducks cartoon? Because the Mighty Ducks, the movie, is about a children's hockey team that are called the Ducks. But then the animated series, The Mighty Ducks, was about a team of superhero ducks that also were spies. They were like superheroes, spies, and they did hockey. They played hockey for reasons. I don't get it. Kirthan says, oh, by the way, if anyone has family in Palm Beach, Florida, you may want to contact them. There was just a shooting at Publix today. Oh, yikes. Nick says, my kind of ex is a fan of the Anaheim Ducks. One Speedy Yoshi says, Caitlyn Jenner be like, I'm going to simultaneously make some people okay with trans people and also be terrible for trans people and our rights. Just girly things. Logarth says, the most softball of softball questions. Yeah. Pay the working people an extra $300 a week and see how fast unemployed get employed. Yeah, pay workers more, and they'll be more incentivized to work. That's how it works. Liberty Hangout got in a fight with the Libertarian Party of Texas. Libertarian Party of Texas said, until we have open borders, we can't get rid of the welfare state. Liberty Hangout replies, until we get rid of libertarianism, we cannot have intelligence. They respond, funnily enough, you've gotten rid of both libertarianism and intelligence. Liberty Hangout says, how many genders are there? And the libertarians say, you can't count that high, though, so the number would be meaningless to you. I want more monarchist, libertarian infighting in my feed, please. I'd appreciate it. Logarth says the Mighty Ducks cartoon and Road Rovers was a furry awakening show for a lot of people. Of course it was. What about Street Sharks? Did that do it for anyone? Vast Lunacy says they were also real sexy. Oh, so another person in the okay. People want to fuck the ducks. Cool. Mike Mack says, I mean, a lot of movies got cartoons at the time. Remember Beetlejuice and the Mask cartoon? No, but the thing is, Beetlejuice the cartoon is still about Beetlejuice and Lydia, the characters from the movie. And the Mask is about the mask from the movie. The Mighty Ducks cartoon had nothing to do with the Mighty Ducks the movie. It was completely, it's a non sequitur. Blackwing Hecty says, a biker mice from Mars. Logarth says, also biker mice from Mars. Tucker White says, nothing like watching right-wing dumb fucks tear other right-wing dumb fucks. Barlock says Beetlejuice was awesome, and Blackwing Hecate says B, insert Godzilla clip of Let Them Fight. Oh, did I miss some bits? I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up so I can get to the stuff. The revenue is based through citizens and corporations, in that order, of course. Not bad. Oh, look, more straight-up fascist, like, nationalist rhetoric. Keep America great. Educate your kids. And it's blocking them from anti-guns, blocking them from the UN, Democrats, green energy, environmentalism, Islam, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, feminism, the LGBT community, communism, and China. Great. Hydrate. The funny thing is, this is the majority of Americans. The majority of Americans fall into it being in favor or tolerant of at least one of these things. Steve with a Q says, or rather subscribes with a 7-month streak. One Speedy Yoshi says, I learned something about the Beetlejuice cartoon. The same girl who voiced Lydia in it also was the girl from The Big Comfy Couch, Jubilee in the X-Men cartoons, and Jill Valentine. I loved The Big Comfy Couch growing up. Nick says, it's also much easier to sell merchandise of anthropomorphic ducks than it is boring kids. But that doesn't, it's still, I understand it's marketing, but it's just weird. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, almost 50 hours in at work week this week already. Rejoice in my overtime bits. You helped me get through it all. Well, thank you. Dr. Gamble says, didn't America found the UN? The UN was one of the initial founding members of the UN. We're on the Security Council. One of the permanent members on the Security Council. Tucker White says, how much you want to bet that the person who made that May is wearing clothes made in China? Probably.
PS333.
You're a teacher?
I'm a teacher.
What school?
PS333.
You're a teacher. You teach children.
Teacher. I do teach children. Is that?
I think it's.
You say that with a little bit of, something in your voice.
Well, you're at an anti-vax rally.
I am not at an anti-vax rally.
This is an anti-vax rally.
This is a rally for freedom, and so
I think that's fucking bullshit.
I'm not anti-vax. I'm pro-choice. I've been pro-choice my whole life. This is about choice. It's my body. My sovereignty starts here. Research is research. You either know how to do research or you don't.
That's the problem, is everyone's looking at data and interpreting it from without a medical lens.
So you're into scientism. It's cool.
Scientism?
That's what I call it.
Scientism. What is scientism?
It is this idea that only the material world exists. This is it. If I can't touch it, it doesn't exist.
Peer review is scientism? Clinical trials, that's scientism?
I guess you went to public school.
Public school?
Did you go to public
you
school?
teach at a public school.
Yeah, I'm quitting because I can't take it. It's short.
I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, I know
think you're
you
making a really good choice.
I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
What a loon! Ugh. Bardlock Moses says, I choose to kill other people. That's what I hate about these people. They're like, I have a right to choose. Guys, look. Vaccines currently aren't mandatory. I wouldn't mind if they were, but they're not. So that's not the situation. If the only defense for a behavior that you have is I have the right to do it, then you have not justified that behavior properly. Like, go fuck yourself. No one said you don't have the right to do it. We're calling you an ignorant dick. That's it. Mike Mack says, real-life hippies, where's Cartman when you need him? Tube Man says, I'm a scientismist, and Bardlock Moses says, she's the asshole art teacher, not the cool one. Yeah, the art teacher at my school was just high all the time. Did I miss your sub? I must have, MH Dark Beast. Thank you for subbing. Apologies. Oh, God. People are blaming Abby Shapiro. Wait, I guess Abby Shapiro put out a video that said I had a miscarriage. if that happened, I'm sorry. That's a shame. That's always sad. But they're blaming it on her getting vaccinated? Jesus Christ. People are sick. Another redhead. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason, the right, the ones that typically sort of the fandom menace types, people like Jeremy and the other ones, have this weird meme about redheaded characters in fiction being replaced by people of color. And they act as though, like, this is discrimination. You made Jimmy Olsen a black guy. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't. Mike Mack says, can't people understand that you can have faith and trust in science? Faith and trust science? I mean, I'm Catholic and took the vax. Yeah, I don't know. People are very strange. Do your own research is code for the sources I believe are embarrassing. Hey, sometimes you just gotta find a YouTube video with under 300 views and learn about the secrets of the universe, okay? It's not my fault you're not on my level. The liberals are coming for your chicken! So, warning. Hoard some chicken, I guess. Yikerinos! Again, comparing abortion to the Holocaust, which is stupid. Whoops. Oh, remember Milo Yiannopoulos? Milo Yiannopoulos says dogs don't bark at him anymore because he's straight.
When I made my announcement, the first thing that happened, which will make you laugh, but it's true, is dogs stopped barking at me. I am one of those people. You know, everyone's got that friend that dogs always go nuts around. You're familiar with this, right? You got pets?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. There's always somebody that dogs.
My dog doesn't bark at you.
That's
I keep my dog in the.
Me.
Hey,
Crazy.
barked at you, but that's okay. He barks. He barks at people.
You must have some work left to do.
But he didn't bark at Milo. That is true.
But I was always one of those. I know this sounds so stupid, but this is just how I think that God reveals Himself to us. Right? This is just my experience of it. I was somebody who invariably, without exception, always used to make dogs go crazy. So we have a friend who's a political candidate down here, right? And her campaign manager has two of these little yappy dogs. And they would not stop. I couldn't be in her house for more than 20 minutes because it would drive everybody crazy. Even growing up, we had Alsatians, we had Black Labradors. They just didn't like me at all. The dogs don't bark at me anymore, and it happened almost overnight. Now they seem to quite like me. And it sounds like the stupidest thing in the world.
Jesus Christ, Milo, why do people believe this idiot? One Speedy Yoshi says, sorry to bring us back to this, but I'm kind of freaking out about the whole Scott thing, and you're my favorite political person. In a server I'm in with friends, I said something like, well, this is shitty he did this, and I don't support it. There's a ton of reasons people vote, donate for the right, mostly ignorance. I even brought up he worked at a dollar store for years, so clearly he voted against his best interests. They dogpiled on me saying, don't try to defend him, etc. Yeah, it's just a weird situation. Some people fall for very strange things. What do? You're really conflicted? I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I guess it depends. Are you able to separate the art from the artist on this one? If you can't, I understand, and then stop, purveying any products that are from that franchise. If you can, deal with it. It's a similar situation I have with, anything Harry Potter related now, right? J.K. Rowling is a TERF, unfortunately, but... Sorry, I just saw the term that got permitted. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm able to separate J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter enough at this point where I can still watch the Harry Potter movies or whatever. There's a Harry Potter game coming out in the next year or so that I'm probably going to get. I'll openly talk about how J.K. Rowling is problematic and shit, but I can separate that, and it's fine with me. But if you can't, I understand that as well. Yasmin Way, thanks for subscribing with 6 months. Says, my stream baby's kicking. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, my wife got the vaccine at 6 months pregnant and we now have a perfectly healthy baby. I literally cried from relief when she got it because now they both have the antibodies. Wonderful. Bardlock Moses says Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A. Better biscuits. I think so. Mike Mack says Milo is the gayest straight person I've ever seen. Nick says he looks like Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards with a crappy wig. Milo's interpretation of what a straight man dresses like is so funny to me. Tucker White says, translation, take my probably made-up anecdotal story as fact, you stupid gits. Yeah, I think he's trying to imply a demon thing, because a lot of Christians think dogs bark at people who are touched by demons, and if you're a gay, then you must have been touched by demons in some way. So I think he's trying to sort of dog whistle to the evangelicals. E-Toon says, art teacher was a bit of an ass, but in his defense there were like 5 super douchey students that always disrupted class for like half the period every other day. Kids are shitty. Pulp Free Fiction says, do you think Milo's new grift is going to work? It appears to be working. He's back. People are talking about him. I'm talking about him. Tucker White says, Milo, it sounds like the stupidest thing in the world, because it is. Ashy Boo says, have you heard about the Black Rock House buyout thing? It's kind of freaking me out that I'll never get to own my own home and I'll be stuck renting forever. I did. It's fucked up. There probably needs to be restrictions on stuff like that, where X% of homes in any given district or something have to be privately owned and not owned. I don't know. I don't know what the specific solution is, but the artificial inflation of housing prices by companies buying them up to rent them out, that sort of mass rent-seeking behavior is detrimental to all of society. It's really bad. Pulp Free Fiction, thanks for subscribing for 4 months, says, hi, Hannah. Haven't been able to catch you live in a while, but I'm glad to be back. Well, welcome. Dragonfly, thanks for subscribing for 7 months, says, final trimester. Blackwing Hecty says, J.K. Rowling is a huge amount more influential personally than Scott Cawthorne is, though. Yeah. We're getting a Styx and Hammer book, which is basically Harry Potter's School of Wizards setting. Oh, God. I don't want to read that. Bardlock Moses says, not a Harry Potter fan, but I always get the newest D&D books, so I'm not sure if I'm getting that Strixhaven one. And Marcus Drake says, touched by a demon is the reboot we deserve and need. Hey, how's it going? Water is easy to take for granted, yet the prospect of shortages in years ahead could make water a precious commodity that represents an opportunity for investors. Fucking yikes. Ben Shapiro's fighting with Tim Pool about something. Tim Pool says there's a difference between people owning investment property and massive financial institutions buying everything up at massive markups so that the working class are forced to be vassals to Wall Street. Surely there's a limit on what corporations are allowed to do. Actual valid point from Tim Pool. It's always annoying when he does that. And then Ben Shapiro says, that's only true if the massive... That's only true if the massive financial institutions refuse to bear the risk of the investment. If they want to pay a markup and bear the risk then the bubble bursts, I don't think anyone will be mourning, and houses will be a lot cheaper. Fuck off, Ben. Nick says, Ben Shapiro is fighting with... Oh, read that. Blackwing Hecty says, read Chuck Tingle's Harriet Porber book. I was Googling Chuck Tingle today. Funny stuff. Wagrode says, Styx's take on Harry Potter? Is it about how Voldemort was right? I also like that Ben thinks massive corporations crashing the housing market would be a good thing overall and not incredibly detrimental to a lot of people. What a dick. Fake tweet, there wasn't a single use of hypothetically. Profane Priestess says, Styxhaven is no way based on Harry Potter. It's completely invented by Wizards of the Coast. All is good. Oh, my bad. Oh my goodness. Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, who's had some spicy tweets lately, says, all Republicans want to do about wokeness is whine. Libertarians have solutions. Repeal the Civil Rights Act. Dude Spanking Dude says, since you missed my message for me, it's hard to hate Scott when he's one of the few creators not toxic with his IP and has donated thousands to organizations to places like St. Jude's. I don't know, feels weird. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting a ton of bit messages today, so I'm sorry I'm missing some. One Speedy Yoshi says, my parents are thinking about buying a second house and becoming landlords. How do I unadopt myself? Quebeca Lynn says, one of my clients is a private university. They keep buying all the houses in the surrounding area to sell rent to the new faculty. There was a city council meeting about it since the people in surrounding neighborhoods were getting pissed. Yeah, it's not good. Nick Fuentes got kicked off Twitter for a week or so. I wonder what the tweet was. I'm sure he deserved it. I can't believe he still even has a Twitter account. It's Nick Fuentes. He's an open white nationalist, Holocaust denier.
And saying, why is the Lord taking so long? Why are the prophets missing it? No, listen to me. It's to make it look like the prophets miss it and for them to have petitions. And it's to expose, but it's to bring forth something at the exact time.
Every time I hear this guy talk, it's just him trying to explain why his predictions are wrong. He's a terrible prophet. Mike Mack says the best Harry Potter movie is the 1986 Troll movie. Isn't that Troll 2 that the kid's name is Harry Potter? Speedy Yoshi says, you want Nick Fuentes banned from Twitter? Next you'll be saying you want people who incite violence off Twitter. Censorship snowflake, liberal, triggered SJW snowflake. True.
To legitimize conduct that he has condemned in the harshest possible terms. There's nothing in the Bible as harshly condemned as male homosexuality, Leviticus 18:22. In a list of sexual sins that explain God's justification for sending the Hebrews in to wipe out the Canaanites in the Holy Land, in that list of sexual sins, it's only when it gets to male homosexuality that God introduces the term
male homosexuality. So I'm in the clear. Thanks, God. Glad you're a perv.
In that list, tueva, or abomination. So even in the list of the most heinous sins that cause the land to vomit out its inhabitants, it's only male homosexuality that triggers God's harshest word in all of the Hebrew language. And that is the thing that the LGBT movement is attempting to sanitize by wrapping with the rainbow of God. And that's why in the end days, the association of the rainbow with the Antichrist is so connected. It's so
the Antichrist is going to be gay AF. Mike Mack says, so God lies to preachers so they can lie to everyone. Yeah, it's like a big lying pyramid scheme. Marcus Drake becomes the stream boss. H. Baird says, so what you're saying is he's not a prophet, but a loss. But, shh. Bardock Moses said, God gets triggered, LOL. And Speedy Yoshi says, only male homosexuals for personal reasons. I am no longer a man. Welcome to the dark side. It's fun here. We have little blue pills that let you grow titties. They're pretty great.
Agents in America.
This is Rick Wiles. This is the first time he's been back on the air since he contracted COVID.
There is a medical mafia in this country.
I believe he was the one who had said things like different people catching COVID was because of God's wrath because of homosexuals. And then he caught COVID. Bland Rick says, started E in Shapiro yesterday. Thanks for helping me have the confidence to find myself, of course. Good for you.
I'm suggesting the CCP agents in America struck at me because I am calling for Fauci to be arrested.
So he caught COVID because he's an idiot COVID denier, and he's blaming Chinese spies. Reasonable.
And interrogate.
I thought the right was supposed to be the party of personal responsibility. What's up with that?
Gate it. Listen to me. I mean this with all my heart. If the China Communist Party is not stopped, most Americans may be dead in the next 5 years.
Stop making predictions that we will be alive to show are not real. Stop. Say 40 years. You might be dead in 40 years. If you're gonna make a bullshit prophetic prediction, you gotta put the goalposts far away. Come on. This is like Prophecy 101.
Think about what I just said. A systematic genocidal plan to exterminate.
I saw your titty compliment, Baja. Thank you. Kirthan says, I hope you have a cell for Baja because she's going to horny jail. If anyone's going in the cell, it's me. Baja holds the keys on that one. Mike Mack says, is Satan still working for God if his job is to punish the sinners? Technically, Satan isn't actually punishing sinners. Satan is also in hell being punished.
The American population over the next 5 years through a variety of biological weapons and vaccines, to the point that there's hardly anybody remaining alive in the country. China is deliberately exterminating the American population for the purpose of migrating hundreds of millions of Chinese settlers to North America.
Because if there's one thing China doesn't have in abundance, it's land mass. What? Look. China's populous. I know this. China has a huge amount of the world's population. They don't need to take over America in order to move people for more space. Not how that works. Why are people afraid of him? Afraid of whom? Dude Spanking Dude says, you see, I don't get that, and I don't get how Christians will explain that. How can the devil tempt when he's literally stuck in hell? I don't know. You'd have to ask a Christian. I haven't been a Christian for a long time. And that's not something that I ever thought about when I was a Christian.
When I discern the spirits behind what the Biden administration is doing, they're doing the opposite. They don't want a holy military. They want a demonic military. And what's the end goal of that? Ultimately, not only are they welcoming that kind of behavior, but they are now punishing Christians. They are driving chaplains, like Army Major Chaplain Andrew Calvert is now been given a letter of reprimand as a chaplain by a general officer to punish him for voicing a private opinion against transgenderism. So they are purging the Christians, and that...
Maybe don't be a dick then. Don't be a huge transphobic dick. How about that?
Demonic spirit of Antichrist is...
Ginger Snap says, but concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. For as were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Matthew 24:36-38. Yeah. That gets cited a lot to show that anyone who says they know the end times is a fraudster.
It's coming in to take over our military, ultimately for one reason, that when the devil controls the American military, the Antichrist can rise and take over the world. When I discern the spirits behind what the Biden administration is doing, they're doing the opposite. They don't want a holy military. They want a demonic military. And what's the end goal of that? Ultimately, not only are they welcoming that...
Sorry about that. QAnon conspiracy theorist Bishop Larry Gators claims that Tiger Woods' car accident was an attempted assassination by the deep state.
It was an attempted assassination. They want to lie to you and I that Tiger Woods was intoxicated and he was driving to SLA.
Hasn't he done something similar to this before? No, wait. Was that when his wife found out he was cheating on her or something and he drove into a tree? I don't remember. It was years ago. Pulp Free Fiction says these people want a crusade so bad. I know.
Okay? So there was no brick or cement ravine in the place where Tiger Woods almost lost his life. Well, the deep state wanted to take him out. Why? A week before his accident, he sold off his shares in Reddit, GameStop, okay, and Robinhood. And Tiger Woods was going to give a major press conference concerning Reddit, GameStop, and Robinhood. He was going to expose it at the highest levels in connection to the Biden family. Now his legs are crushed.
Tiger Woods was going to blow the doors open on the GameStop stock shorting stuff with Robinhood and Citadel Finance. Okay, great, and Biden's involved somehow. The fan fiction these people spin is honestly pretty impressive. Blackwing Hecty says, when the Jews return to Zion and the comet rips the sky and the Holy Roman Empire rises, then you and I must die, for the eternal sea has risen, creating armies on either shore, turning men against his brother till man exists no more. Mike Mack says, Christians want the end times to happen, also Christians hating people they think will cause the end of time. Yeah, weird stuff. Contradiction. It's a feature, not a bug. Oh god, did you see this? Milo Yiannopoulos has this, he put together this little, what did he call it? Hotel room altar, and it has an America First hat, what appears to maybe be a gun or a knife. It's probably a knife. A Bible, and most importantly, if you can see the red book in the back center, you can clearly see it's the Turner Diaries. Now, fam, can I call you fam? Do you know about the Turner Diaries? The Turner Diaries is a famous neo-Nazi fiction book. The Turner Diaries is a novel about a future in which fascists have taken over the American government in an event called the Day of the Rope, in which all liberals, commies, gays, degenerates, and everyone Nazis hate gets killed in the streets by brown shirts, the police, the government, etc. It's literal neo-Nazi fan fiction about wiping out all the quote-unquote undesirables, including, quote, Jews, non-whites, liberal actors, and politicians. So, Milo Yiannopoulos has this book in his collection of bullshit. You get it. It's not even a dog whistle. It's just, he might as well have fucking Mein Kampf sitting there. It's bad.
Reactionary thought to what the government tells you is good for you. In North Korea, they line you up and shoot you. Oh, in America, they don't do that? Really? Do you not know that the best way to kill somebody is to shut them up? To destroy their...
But isn't he gay? Wouldn't he be one of the dead? Milo claims to be ex-gay now.
Influence, destroy their voice, destroy their credibility. That's all you have to do. It's the same thing. They shoot them in North Korea and they kill them in America. This is why...
Wow. Comparing a Twitter ban to people actually being killed for their political or religious beliefs in a totalitarian government kind of seems like an overreaction.
Jared Kushner's cronies essentially approach us and, try to, basically get me to sell out, right? Get me to compromise on Gab's free speech policies and, ban certain things. And you're not allowed, you should not allow these certain people on the platform. And
This is a guy who has to do with Gab, saying that Trump and his team tried to acquire a stake in Gab, which is a sort of a right-wing Twitter, And he warned his family not to do dealings with Trump.
You should try to clean up your image, and how can we monetize your user data, and how can we get in front of your email list and all these things. So it was really telling to me that I have two grandfathers. I'm blessed to have both of my grandfathers.
Dude Spanking Dude says, one more thing about the Scott Cath win. Am I a bad person for not hating him and shit? I'm not gonna tell you what to do. It is what it is.
In my life, on both sides of my family, one of them is a liberal. I would call a liberal, and the other is a conservative. And both of them told me the same thing on this topic. They said, "Do not do any deals with Trump. Do not do any deals with Trump." Again, that was really eye-opening to me to see my conservative grandfather say, who voted for Trump twice, say, "Don't do any deals with this guy," and to have my liberal grandfather say the same thing was very interesting to me and was very telling. But all I ever wanted to do was give him his voice back, and all that the people around Trump were interested in was grifting, and that's all they're still interested in. Is what I would argue is they're what they told me is they're in quote make money mode. So that's why we see Trump endorsing these rhino candidates and these people that you're kind of scratching your head and you're like, this person is not America first. Why is he endorsing this person? Really, it's about the kickbacks with the endorsement. We had
Trump is potentially selling endorsements. I'm shocked. Mike Mack says, how dare private companies care for people and do the things they say they'll do when I go against their guidelines? Tucker White says, let's be honest, if the Turner Diaries comes true, then Milo's burning at the stake. I'm pretty sure actual Nazis will see through his grift and that he's an insufferable prick. Yeah, I would agree. For him, I think he thinks it's a self-preservation thing. He probably thinks to himself, and people are interesting in that they can have cognitive dissonance and believe very separate things. So it's possible Milo really does believe in all the other Nazi shit, like ethno-nationalism, Christian nationalism, all sorts of other stuff. He probably really doesn't like trans people, but he's gay, right? Milo's gay. He is. So it's probably him trying to reconcile these, and he probably thinks, on the one hand, well, if I join up with the neo-Nazi fascist people, well, I'll ingratiate myself and I'll be, quote, one of the good ones or whatever. When in reality, that's not how it would work. It's not. Milo is not an ethno-nationalist. I know he has a black boyfriend or had a black boyfriend. Maybe his husband's black. I don't know. Do you think it's impossible for ethno-nationalists to sleep with people who aren't white?
Q was born on the 1st of April in 1860.
Q is over 160 years old.
A year before the outbreak of the Civil War by 25 Northern generals, whose sole intent was not to create a secret society.
Civic nationalist. Oh yeah, those civic nationalists sure do love the Turner Diaries. Mike Mack says, neo-Nazi conservative will pull a Voltramite eradication.
But whose objective was to design a Christian constitutional movement to protect the first constitution of the...
The Turner Diaries isn't about an ethno-state per se. They just go around and murder all the black people for fun, I guess. It's not for political reasons.
United States. Yes, because we did have a second constitution through the Act of 1871.
Tucker White says, Q was over 160 years old. How bad of a president was James Buchanan?
Because a deep state
Q was born on April Fool's, checks
Ulysses
out.
S. Grant, who tried to destroy Q a year before the outbreak of the Civil War. So Ulysses S. Grant in 1871 was paid off not just by the Vatican order through Pope Pius IX in 1871, but the Rothschild British arm of the Rothschild dynasty also paid off this deep state president, okay? who today that we call Joe Blow Biden, okay, who was actually executed 2 years ago. I'll come back to that.
Jesus Christ. It's not ethno-national. Oh, this voice training coach guy is the shittiest crypto-fascist in the world. Wow. Video about a pastor who thinks Starbucks put semen in their coffee. Yes, please.
But the deal is
to the video, not the semen.
This is that the woman didn't realize who's an associate. Her name was Jess or something, Jessica. That when questioning me about Starbucks and its lattes, that it's a concoction of milk.
You can be a fascist without an ethno-nationalist. Look at Latin American fascists. Oh, lovely. So you're not even a crypto-fascist. You're just an outright fascist. How does it feel to be the worst? How does it feel, voice training coach, to just literally be... There are so many political views that you can have in the world, and you literally pick the one that everyone's like, no, that's bad. Let's not do that one. Let's not do a fascism. You pick the one thing that everyone universally agrees is the villain. The archetypical villain, and you're like, yeah. You know who's really good in the Indiana Jones movies? The Nazis. You know who I root for in Star Wars? The Empire. What a fucking loser.
Milk. The Jon Stewart woman associate. I said, yes, it is a concoction of milk with some flavoring in it. Yes. And I said to her that milk is something that's produced by the mammary glands. And it is a body fluid, however, albeit produced by the mammary glands. And people tend to like its taste. It tends to nourish people. It tends to give life. It's probably... You know, it's a strange thing that milk comes from the mammary glands and
voice training coach saying, I'm not a Nazi, I'm a civic nationalist, has the same vibes of someone who sleeps with a 14-year-old going, I'm not a pedophile, I'm an ephebophile. Cool. The account's 10 minutes old. Oh, of course they're a troll. I get it. It's just the dumbest. Nick says, how is it strange? We're mammals, you doughhead.
Etc., etc., etc. And
you guys are. I'm a reptoid.
Said that semen, because you know, I had this thing going back a year ago with me talking about semen and Starbucks lattes, and they do put it in there. Many people slammed me and said I should get off of it. One guy wrote me and told me he wasn't going to send me any more offerings until I stopped talking about semen in Starbucks coffee. I told him to keep his offerings.
Reptoid. Ah, I see. You're not a Nazi. You just use the echoes that Nazis use. Listen, man. Try and get a different personality that doesn't make literally everyone on the planet hate you, okay? We did World War II already. I'd rather not do a rerun. Thanks. Neural Alchemist, thank you for subscribing for 6 months. Woot, half a year. Here's to many more of the same amazing content. Thank you.
But at any rate,
your semen shouldn't be frothy. Why do I... Never mind.
Semen is another kind of milk.
No! No! No, it's not.
Semen is another kind of milk.
It comes from the body and it's white. It's milk.
It's something that's produced by the testicle glands of a man.
Tucker White says, why'd y'all ban my burner account? I wanted to see how far I could get with this act. Send...
People tend to like milk that's produced by the mammary glands of a woman. Starbucks has figured out that people tend to like semen that's produced by the testicle glands of a man. So what's the big deal? If they mix milk and semen together, for some people, a nice taste. Now, I don't go to Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, first of all. But when I said that, I know they're not going to air that. I know they're going to edit it. I know they're going to put that on the app. They're not going to do that. But don't argue with me. Don't you argue with me. Milk, mammary glands, semen, testicle glands, both are naturally produced by the body, and a lot of people tend to like them. So Starbucks has figured it out. So they blend a little semen synthetic with their synthetic blends of milk, and people drink Starbucks coffee. I don't, and I will not. And I advise you, don't drink it either, unless you'll drink some synthetic semen.
Altered Ren, thank you for sharing that. That was absolutely beautiful. Mike Mack says, remember the red cup issue? Man, these people like to be victims all the time. I know. It's almost like they're just little babies about everything.
Entire reason for talking about the vaccine is that he is pushing back against the mainstream media narrative, the narrative of the medical technocracy, and he's taking credit for saving millions of lives. It's a narrative. It may not even be true, but it's a narrative, and it's not for us. It is for normies. So don't get triggered by it, and don't freak out and go, oh, Trump's a globalist. He's pushing the vaccine. He wants people to die. No, he doesn't. It's optics. 50% of what Trump says is optics. He is saying this for the purpose of optics because he really didn't have a choice. He was put into a corner, and he decided to use their narrative against them.
What a weirdo. The best part was the guy that left the church because the pastor wouldn't stop talking about semen. I know.
Against, I think a lot of this hate crime stuff, which was really generated primarily to protect homosexuals from bullying and assaults.
I don't think that's true. Hold on. Hate crime laws in the United States. This stuff started earlier. Like, what? No. This is hate crimes are about, like, racial justice, too. What? Tucker White says, optics implies Trump gives a shit about whether or not it makes him look good. I know. And Mike Max says, ha, gay.
I think a lot of that stuff is to protect against when people are improperly approached and may react violently. Say, for example, some homosexual approaches a man who is heterosexual, touches him the wrong way, does something the wrong way, and the man pushes him or maybe punches him or just responds in an angry way without thinking. That then becomes a hate crime.
What the fuck? What imaginary situation does this guy... The whole predatory gay trope, I hate it. I hate it so much. It creates an atmosphere of people like this who think it's okay to assault gay people for existing. So he creates an imaginary straw man version that's like, oh, all gay people are out here inappropriately touching people without their consent. Like, no, that's not generally what happens. Nick says, ew, Jackson sounds like the guy who would help the police use fire hoses on protesters.
I think that's what a lot of this stuff is intended to stop, to protect against, so that there's more freedom and more latitude to approach people and to try to seduce people without them being able to retaliate, because if they retaliate in the wrong way, it then becomes a hate crime. Now,
Grindr exists. If you want to go suck a dick or get your dick sucked, there are options for that without randomly assaulting people on the street. Like, what the fuck?
I'm not saying that's all of it, but I really do believe that that's a part of it, because we've seen those kinds of stories again and again.
Jesus Christ.
Hey guys, Jeff Jansen, Global Fire Ministries International. Tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, President Trump, yes, they're calling him President Trump, is going to be addressing the GOP and the nation.
It's interesting that he highlights calling him President Trump. Yeah, past presidents still get called president. Obama still gets called President Obama. Clinton still gets called President Clinton. Trump still gets called President Trump. That's not uncommon.
I'm not sure if it's televised, probably not. It'll be a live stream for sure. I'm sure he's going to be talking about the 5 states from Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. But we'll watch what happens. I said by spring, which starts officially June the 23rd, we'd be dancing in the streets. The Trump administration is on its way in. The pedophilia Biden administration, the fake administration, Biden's administration's on its way out. I don't care if you like it or not, it doesn't matter. We all know what took place, and God is going to do something amazing in this nation and through this nation. It's revival time, it's revolution time.
Jesus Christ. Tiger White says, oh, but Hannah, going out and praying on the straits is fun. Bardlock says, stop filming in your car. And Alexander OV says, have you seen Peter's latest videos? Love the show. Yes, we need to watch it, actually, because it's crazy. Pyromancer says, I mean, you're free to dance in the streets regardless of what you want. Just don't hurt anyone. Sure.
Grease.
No, that's got a F slur in it. Okay, let's move on to some other stuff. Are we watching Peter tonight? Yeah. Because he's got a brand new video that I really wanted to cover. We're not going to cover him right away, though. I'll save him for a little bit into this. Mike Mack says, there needs to be a new law to stop people from filming in the car the way CC and this guy do. I think a lot of places already are. That's like touching your phone and operating it like that in many places is considered distracted driving. Bardlock Moses says, Peter's better than Ben. Sure, but you don't bring on the opening act after the headliner, right? We gotta do some other stuff before we get to Peter, okay? Plus, the Shapiro video is only 7 minutes long, so it's not that long. Okay, let's take a look at what Ben Shapiro's been up to. This video is about pride flags being flown at U.S. Army bases or something. I bet he's mad about it. So let's take a look.
I mean, the flag looks, frankly, like a cat vomited, and then you looked at it through a kaleidoscope.
Jesus Christ.
Visually incoherent. But that's sort of the idea.
Visual graphic design is Ben Shapiro's passion.
The idea is we can only be unified in opposition to something else, because we don't share any values. We can only be unified in opposition to another thing. And you can see this happening, right, throughout American life now. The complete redefinition of courage, based on not merely a sort of self-involvement, but based on a deep, abiding desire to build a coalition to tear down all of the systems of definition, the heterosexual patriarchy, the cisgender patriarchy, all of the systems and hierarchies of power that have been imbued in our society. All those have to be torn down. And
sure, fuck them. I don't care. Decker White says, to be fair, Hannah, that flag he showed is kind of a mess. I kind of like the original pride flag, but the more updated one that kind of looks like that, I kind of like.
The minute you declare yourself not in living in accordance with those things, you are a person who is brave. You're a person who is courageous. That is, I think, the deeper philosophical point that is being made, that is buried well underneath these sort of tweets that Joe Biden is sending out. And you can see this play out in every area of American life. Because here's the thing, when you look at the sort of woke coalition that's been built, and all these members of the woke who are patting each other on the back for their bravery and their courage, even though they don't actually get along inside their own halls of power, right? They have serious disagreements.
Wow, still supporting the right of other people to exist and live their lives freely, even though you don't entirely agree with them? What a crazy idea.
There are serious disagreements, for example, in the LGBT community between the L's and the T's. Right? There are serious disagreements. You have trad feminists and traditional lesbians, people like
TERFs? Great.
Like Martina Navratilova, who is in open battle with transgender rights advocates.
Nick says, as a cis man barely attracted to women, F the heterosexual patriarchy.
Who, of course, argue that there is no definition of man and woman that is not absolutely malleable. Right? Lesbians argue that there is such...
Kind of depends on who you're talking to about those sorts of things. Mike Mack says, kind of ironic that a Jewish man is saying this. Yeah, he's... Let's not get into Ben Shapiro's fucking rich kid privilege. Stone Corbell says, the worst thing to ever happen to the English language was the appropriation of the term woke by white people.
Such a thing as a woman. And we are women who are sexually attracted to women. And then you have transgender rights advocates who argue that a man who identifies as a woman is now a woman. So there is no such thing as a woman.
No, I don't think that's what's being said.
And if you're a woman who is not attracted to a trans woman, then this means that you are in some way sexist. Right? There's also...
That is not the prevailing opinion that I hear amongst the trans people that I know. Sky Comet Fallen says, F-TERFs. Nobody likes them, not even other TERFs.
Sorts of internal schisms and battles that are going on inside the woke community. But if everybody pats each other on the back for their courage in taking on the higher goal, which is tearing down the system as a whole...
Again, coalition building is kind of important in politics, Ben. You might want to learn how to do it. If you try and make sure that you have a big tent and that even if you have political disagreements with people, if your overall goals are in common and you work together towards those goals, then it's best for all of you, and then you can deal with all the other stuff you don't agree with. They can both be true. Razzle-Tazzle91, thanks for extending your Tier 1 through July, and Daddy Sume says, can I get some Fs in chat for being ghosted by someone?
Then we are ushered into a new utopian vision. Okay, and that coalition, it is almost hysterically funny how fragmentary this coalition is, and how how clear it is that the goal is to cobble together a coalition of people who disagree about nearly everything under a rubric of resistance. So I have to take just the most obvious visual manifestation of this that I've ever seen. So yesterday, on pinknews.co.uk, they had a story about the Progress Pride flag. Here's their story. The Progress Pride flag has been redesigned by an intersex activist to include intersex people. A yellow triangle with a purple circle in it has been added to represent intersex people.
One Speedy Yoshi says, I've had to explain it so many times to these people, but they never listen. It's not transphobic to not want to date or fuck a trans person. It's transphobic to say they're not a real woman or man if they're a trans man. Yeah.
Unity and rights. The new pride flag was...
I understand that, and some people are going to disagree with me in chat, because this is like a contentious issue, and different people have different feelings on it. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I'm not telling you how to feel about this. I understand that people have genital preference, right? I would never be mad at someone, and I'm, in a committed relationship anyway, so it doesn't matter to me personally. But if someone's like, hey, I completely respect that you're trans, you're a lovely person, and I respect your identity, but I'm not, attracted to people with penises, or if it were the opposite situation, so people with vaginas or whatever. I understand that. I get that. I can't be mad at someone who's just not attracted to someone's genitalia. That's my position. But there are some people who think that's not cool. My only issue is, is it because the person is trans, not just because of their genitalia? Do you have disrespect for their identity? Do you not respect how they identify? That's the difference. Dr. White says, Benny, every coalition is fragmentary. That's what a coalition is. And Dude Spanking Dude says, Ben Shapiro, people on the right, and so many of your associates hate you for being Jewish. Yeah, the irony. It hurts.
Was designed by Valentino Vischetti of Intersex Equality Rights UK, who is an intersex activist and Diva magazine columnist, continuing a tradition of pride flags being updated and reimagined. So usually the goal of a flag is, of course, to unify. Right? We all look at a symbol, and we all recognize our shared humanity in that particular symbol. You look at the American flag, and it represents the states and represents the original colonies, and you say, wow, that's our history. That's my flag. Right? If you're in Canada and you see the maple leaf, this has some sort of resonant emotional meaning for you. You see the Union Jack, you're in Britain, same sort of thing. The new Progress Pride flag...
I guess it never occurred to me that someone actually could look at the American flag and, feel things. That's weird.
Flag is not about the idea that there's any sort of shared values. The idea here is that you have your individual stripe in the flag, right? It's a coalitional flag.
Sure. It's about the fact that the members of the LGBTQ community have worked together for fight for each other's rights for decades, which is necessary in groups like gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, and other queer people, because there are so few of us relative to the overall population that the coalition that we have built over decades has helped to allow us to get rights. We don't always have to agree with each other. That's fine. That happens. But at the end of the day, as long as we're working towards helping each other and making sure we're all respected, at least at the bare minimum human level in society, that's a good thing, and that helps all of us. The issue comes up when, like, again, TERFs go to all-out war and try and, like, remove trans people from the community, but more often than not, they get shot down because they're the minority in the community. Most people in the community recognize it's not okay to just be like, fuck trans people all of a sudden. But, yeah, that does happen. Is Ben a vexiophile? Vexiophile? Vexology is the study of flags. Mike Mack says, Ben, will you be okay with the Nazi flag? I don't. That's a non sequitur. Speedy Yoshi says, this has to be to do with trans characters, so I think it's on topic. Let me see what it is. Searchable database of 259 LGBTQ characters in cartoons. Wowzers. Implicit versus explicit representation over time. Wow, there were a lot of gay characters in 2018 for some reason. First 10 animated shows to feature LGBTQ characters. Super Ted, Gargoyles, Arthur, Dexter's Lab, Hey Arnold, Superman, Courage the Cowardly Dog, George and Martin. I guess I didn't know about a lot of these. Interesting.
And if your coalition doesn't appear on the flag ain't for you.
Did I change something to your mic configuration, hearing considerably more boom noises than usual? Like this? What is it? Hydrate? Okay. Daddy Sume says, F trans people. F them in the bed. F them in the kitchen, in the living room. Blackwing Hecate says, a trans woman threw the first brick at Stonewall. Nick says, the dimensional merge is going to be fabulous. Daddy Sume says, Bugs Bunny was 100% LGBT. Weird. I don't know why it's picking up more booms and stuff. That's not good. I've been having audio issues lately. I think I need to get a new mic.
They cobbled together agglomeration of people who disagree on nearly everything.
Again, I don't think that the LGBT community disagrees on most things. There becomes contention sometimes, but for the most part, I think we're all pretty on the same page. I think that's a mischaracterization. Mike Mack says, do you view Cora as a lesbian or bi? Because people actually argue about this. It's been a long... I haven't seen Cora since the original run. I'd have to go watch it again.
But this flag exists in opposition to other unified ideas. I mean, the flag looks, frankly, like a cat vomited and then you looked at it through a kaleidoscope. I mean, it's the ugliest flag that anybody's ever seen. At least the original Pride flag is something visually pretty to look at, right? I mean, it's just a rainbow flag. Here you have apparently some sort of invasion from the left side of the screen. Like it looks like a military movement from the left side of the screen. That's black, brown, blue, pink, white, yellow with a purple circle. I mean, it's just visually incoherent. But that's sort of the idea, is that eventually we're going to reach the point where in opposition to the unified flags that are provided by countries, we are going to end up with flags in which every single human has their own little dot. We're going to have pixelated flags with 3...
Ben is very concerned about the dystopian future of collage flags. Even in terms of slippery slope arguments, this doesn't make sense because his endpoint doesn't matter. Oh no, we're gonna have a flag where... Hold on, let me turn this down or something. I'm like coming across really loud. I don't know why. How's that? Is that any better? I don't know. We're gonna have flags that are pictures of people. First of all, I don't think we will, but even if we did, why would I care? Razzle Tazzle says, oh no, the left is invading. Honestly, it would be really cool if you had a flag that like made a... You've seen those pictures where it's made up of a bunch of little pictures. When you zoom in, there's like individual pictures, but when you zoom out, it's like a mosaic. A flag made up of like all images of everyone in the country would be super cool. Wouldn't make a lot of sense considering people are born and die constantly, but just the idea is fine.
330 million dots, one to represent you. And if your dot isn't represented in the flag doesn't represent you anymore.
Ben needs an Only Flags account.
Right? The idea is we can only be unified in opposition to something else because we don't share any values. We can only be unified.
Again, the idea that the LGBTQ community doesn't share values is really, really stupid. Vast Lunacy says, Ben, or read that one, sorry. Toeen says, has Ben not seen the South African flag? It's got the same setup. Pyromancer says, Ben should maybe be aware of the Reddit place. Oh, I remember that. That was cool. H. Baird says, Ben's too long, didn't read. Why are people I'm trying to exclude making a flag that doesn't create unity with me?
In opposition to another thing.
What was that? Did you say it was a South African flag? Yeah. Cool.
Which is why it is kind of important that the Department of Defense is refusing to fly the pride flag. Okay, so there is a big uproar inside the Biden administration. The State Department decided they were going to fly the pride flag at the State Department. First of all, this is insipid. Okay, the only flag that should fly at the American State Department is, in fact, the American flag. That is the only unifying flag in American life. We shouldn't have flags with a giant cross on it. We should not have a gay pride flag. We should not have any of those flags because, again, the American flag is non-sectarian. The American flag is supposed to represent all of us because we are all Americans. Nonetheless, Joe Biden has decided that all Americans are apparently in support of the entire LGBTQ plus 2AAIZ.
Oh, it's the other joke they have. They have the two genders or helicopter joke, and then they have the new joke, which is, I don't remember 5 letters. 5 letters is too many letters for me to wait. LGBTQ. Yeah, 5. 5 letters is too many for me to remember, so what if I just add a bunch of random letters? Ha 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 ha. Very original joke. Flag shouldn't feature people or words. Maybe I want, like, a flag that works like a Ben Garrison comic where everything is just labeled. Tucker White says, okay, I know this contradicts my earlier point about the messiness of the LGBT flag, but I find it more ridiculous that Ben is this triggered over a piece of cloth. Yeah, this is a stupid thing even for Ben to get bent out of shape over. Pyromancer says, I guess Ben doesn't care about the POWMIA flag.
Agenda, and therefore we're going to fly this at the State Department, but only in countries where nobody's going to do anything about it. We're definitely not going to do that in, like, Malaysia. We're certainly not going to do it in Saudi Arabia. We're not going to do it anywhere in the Middle East, actually. Well, the Defense Department announced yesterday that they are not going to be flying the pride flag over military bases. First of all, the fact that this was even an issue, the fact that we were even having the discussion about flying pride flags over military bases is somewhat insane.
Why? I honestly don't care either way. I don't like the military, so I don't give a shit. But I just find it weird that you care either way, I guess. I don't know. Blackwing Hecty says the LGBTQ flag can't be the worst. Nebraska's flag exists.
Right? Why exactly would we fly a pride flag over a military base?
Well, the military's had a pretty bad history with the LGBT community, so seems like sort of a outreach thing, like, hey, look how far we've come. Don't ask, don't tell isn't a thing anymore. Sorry about the transgender ban. Let's try and be more accepting since we have LGBT service members. Guess not, though, because fuck them. Razzle Tazzle says, I have a Welsh pride flag. It's badass. Cool.
The reason that we, like, why? Literally, the people who are fighting, unless you're willing to put soldiers in battle with the pride flag on their sleeve, right?
Fucking do it. Please do. I want a badass military, like a gay, super gay or lesbian member of the military with a pride flag patch to mow down members of ISIS. That would be awesome.
So they're living and dying on behalf of the LGBT agenda, apparently. Like, why? Why? It is sectarian by nature. By nature, there's open debate about the extent to which Americans support every aspect of the agenda promoted by radical activists. Some people are supportive of some are supportive of others, some are supportive of none. But the idea that this is representative of some sort of unified body of opinion in the United States is kind of crazy. Okay, so the Department of Defense
Why won't the government recognize my homophobia?
Rejected this, but here's what they announced. They said the reason that they are rejecting this is not because they're reflecting any lack of respect or admiration for people of the LGBTQ plus community. Instead, they're afraid that if they made an exception, then people might want to fly other flags, like the Don't Tread on Me flag.
Sure, I can understand that. All or nothing. If you're not going to fly flags of one particular thing, don't do it for any of them. I can get that.
So, fairly incredible. So they've decided to ban all flags except the American flag because you might want to fly like a Don't Tread on Me flag, and that would be super, duper, duper bad. Again, these things matter because when we talk about what unifies us as a country or what unifies us as a society, shared ideas of what courage is, or shared ideas of what the good is, or shared idea of what represents the good life for Americans, these are basic ideas we should share, but we no longer share them, and so we're falling apart as a country.
We're falling apart as a country because Ben Shapiro and his kind can't agree that spending a weekend fucking a rockin' twink is badass. Tucker White says, I wonder what Ben would have said about 5 or 6 years ago when tolerance of the Confederate flag started to wane. Alright, I gotta try and fix my bangs again. They're just not cooperating, and then we'll do Peter. Sky Comet Fallen says, Ben, there isn't even a unified opinion in this country about the shape of the Earth. Based on Ben's own logic, too. There are a lot of people who don't like the American flag. They don't like what it stands for. So, just saying, his argument kind of falls apart at face value. I emailed Peter yesterday, by the way, and I'm a little concerned because he still hasn't gotten back to me. Let me actually go check my email right now. He'd been prompt with me in the past in terms of getting back to me, so I'm a little worried. Like, he had always emailed me back within an hour whenever I'd emailed him in the past, and I haven't heard from him in over 24 hours. So. That, coupled with the fact that his most recent video, he's not looking good. I don't mean that literally. I just mean he seems like he is having a bad time. Let me put it that way. Maybe his kid was born. It's possible. It's possible. But he hasn't mentioned anything about it, and he seems like the type that would bring it up. His wife hasn't posted anything about it on Facebook or anything, so I don't know. But, either way, let's go ahead and take a look at his newest video. I didn't hear back from Caitlin Bennett's sister. I did email her as well, again, to set up a specific date. But I'll let you know when that sort of comes together.
Welcome, Patriots. Trump is winning. We are all winning. My question is, are you tired of winning? No, you're not tired of winning because Joe Biden is president. Am I right? Okay, what if I told you Joe Biden being president is us winning? I'm talking about Republicans, and no, it's not sarcastic.
So Peter is now admitting that Biden is, in fact, president, which is kind of a big deal for him. This is good. The rest is not good.
Yes, you heard me correctly. We want Joe Biden to be president. We should be praying to God in gratitude that Joe Biden is president. If you're a Republican, if you're a Christian, if you're a Trump supporter, you want Joe Biden to be president. I promise you this. Trump is ecstatic that Joe Biden is president, because this was all part of the plan. The most crucial step that I could tell of the whole plan was actually Biden becoming president. And I'll tell you why. It has a lot to do with how unconventional it was in the way that Biden became president. That gave Trump more power than he ever had before. And because Joe Biden is president...
See, this is where it gets interesting for me. Peter, and we've talked about this before, Peter's not having a good time because his QAnon beliefs make him have to, in some way, justify that Donald Trump isn't winning, right? Donald Trump lost the election. Now he's just hanging around Mar-a-Lago like a weirdo, not doing anything productive, and now he's already going to start to hold rallies and talking about 2024, along with other stuff because he's a grifter. But at this point, Peter's going to have to come up with crazier and crazier justifications for all of this and why reality isn't turning out the way that he said. So, get ready. Preston Stroop, thanks for following.
President, now Trump can legally do all the justice that he wants. Deliver the hammer of justice, execute people, send people to Guantanamo Bay legally. Thanks to you so much, Joe Biden, for being president.
I don't know what Peter means by this. He doesn't explain in this video what he means by this, why he thinks Joe Biden being president gives Donald Trump, who is not the president, the power to murder people and send people to prison. But he sure does claim it. Hydrate. Yeah, it's very, if you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. It's not Obi-Wan. Razzle Tazzle says, speaking of hair, I took the advice you gave me ages ago about the curl activator, and it's actually helping to fix my stupid curls that just love to tangle. You're the best. Oh, I'm glad that worked out for you. And Cool Cat says, oh, does he think Trump is like in real life Batman right now? Oh god, Trump Batman. That, has anyone done that as a sketch yet? I think that'd be funny.
Confused yet? Well, my name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter Sky High Politics, and if you see this from a higher perspective, the 10,000 feet view, looking down, you're gonna see the whole picture, which is...
It's 10,000 feet up because it's a mental institution at the top of a skyscraper.
Trump wanted Joe Biden to become president. It was crucial. Now let me explain why. If you're just watching news and you see that...
Remember when Peter got butthurt about you calling him out for wanting people murdered? I do remember that. He threatened to sue me. Your Honor, Exhibit Z.
that Joe Biden is president on TV. Most Republicans see that and do not feel good at all. Some of them just know he's a bad president. Others know he's a very bad president. And if you know he's a very bad president, how evil he is, then you are going to be panicked that Joe Biden is president. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. No, this was part of the plan. But if you're seeing it from the full view, which I believe I do have on what happened.
Why does Peter think this? I can't wait to talk to him again. I have so many questions and so much material. Why does I was going to call him Trump. Why does Peter believe that he has inside information? I don't understand.
This is a good thing. This is exactly what Trump wanted. Because, please subscribe to my channel. I'm providing really good analysis of everything that's going on. And I think that you guys would really appreciate knowing what's really going on, what the news is not talking about. When Trump was inaugurated to become president, what is the smartest move strategically that a villain like Obama could do?
Drone strike a wedding.
Pardon all the rats. Pardon all of them. Because they knew Trump wanted to arrest...
There's going to be a lot of dehumanization of people he disagrees with politically in this video, just an FYI. This is good for Bitcoin vibes. I know, he's really desperate in this video. Because Peter wants to be a positive person, and he often is a positive person. positive from his perspective, obviously. This is a nightmare, horrifying thing he's talking about. But to him, it's positive. But he's trying so hard to hold on to that hopium, and he can tell it's slipping away. Pulp Free Fiction says, I really hate it when Q people talk about executing the majority of the country and act like that legality matters. Do they think the hundreds of thousands of people they kill would care about being killed the right way? And Nick says, pardoning the rats? You mean like Trump?
People and execute people legally. So then Trump becomes president. Guess what? Legally speaking, he can't execute, he can't deliver justice, he can't send to jail, he can't...
I don't even understand. Peter, in what situation do you think Trump has the power to execute people as a citizen, but doesn't have it as president? I don't understand the internal model of the world you're working on. I don't understand at all.
Arrest all these criminals, probably thousands and thousands. Remember, pardons don't have to be public. They're not required to be public. So behind the scenes, Trump became president. He had all this
I thought pocket pardons had never been tested by the courts. Let me look this up. Yeah, see, like this person says, this is an opinion. If Trump issued secret pardons, they won't work. So there's this idea of the pocket pardon, which is a theoretical legal concept where some people claim that if the president were to pardon someone while president and just not tell anyone about it and not actually file anything as long as they claimed it during their presidency, that they could then later reveal that if they felt the need to. This has never actually happened or been tested by the courts, so I don't think it would happen, but who knows.
Power, but Obama pardoned everyone. So now what does he do? The smartest counter move strategically, remember,
the only thing Trump is executing is a double baconator.
Moves and counter moves, is for Trump to set up a trap that doesn't do a lot of damage or does minimum amount of damage as possible. A trap to catch all the swamp creatures, all the rats. And he did, and they fell for it, and now, game over. That's what's going on. Now, if you want to understand the full logic of everything that's going on in more detail, the Rumble version of this video,
last time I checked, the Rumble version of this video did not exist yet. Let me see if he ever uploaded it. Nope, he still hasn't uploaded this version of his video, so we don't get to know, I guess. Sorry.
Check in the description below. You'll be able to understand what I'm saying completely uncensored. So, I'll give you a hint on why this is a good thing. What's about to happen? June 14th, Flag Day, Trump's birthday. The Arizona oddity will be complete, which means all the ballets have been counted. And this will be the election results by a forensic audit. We're gonna hear what is the truth. So on Trump's birthday, his birthday present is gonna be the news of what's happening in Arizona, which we all know what that is. So this is extremely exciting.
Arizona oddity and ballets. He's trying to get around the detection from the algorithm of him saying audit and ballots. Daddy Sume says, I marathoned WandaVision. It was exactly what I predicted. There were some twists, but in the end it was fairly predictable. It was quite fun, thanks to the recommendation. Yeah, check out Loki. Only one episode out so far, but it's good. Random Invite says, oh look, a new date for the truth. Anyways, have bits for being cool. Thanks.
This is the first domino that's really gonna start steamrolling. June 14th is when the big domino goes down. First big domino that's gonna knock it all down. Then, as Sidney Powell said, we can set a new inauguration date.
It should be that he can simply be reinstated, that a new inauguration date is set.
That's literally not how it works, Peter. Peter, the Constitution explicitly spells out the day of the inauguration. You can't just make up a new one unless you amend the Constitution. That's not how this works. If there were any sort of illegal, like, anything that happened, which it didn't, in my opinion, but Peter thinks it did. So let's do the hypothetical. Let's say Biden was thought to be guilty of something. Then he would be put on, he would be impeached by the House, removed by the Senate, although I doubt it at this point because Trump proved that impeachment is basically impossible and it's just never going to happen. Or rather, sorry, not impeachment. Impeachment does happen. It happened to Trump twice. It happened to Bill Clinton. He was impeached. He wasn't removed from office. Being removed from office is basically impossible, as we learned from the Trump situation. But let's say that Biden was in that situation. He gets removed. Then Kamala Harris becomes the president because she's the vice president. Let's say she was implicated, and also, then she would be removed. Then I believe the Speaker of the House, who is Nancy Pelosi, becomes the president. There's a chain of command, and Donald Trump is nowhere in the chain of command. That's not how this works.
So this is great, but hold on. Maybe you're doubting me. Maybe you think this is a crazy conspiracy.
Yeah. Nick says, did Peter get a fortune cookie saying you'll find true love on Flag Day?
Let me provide some evidence. So, what's my evidence? Pay attention to a...
Surprise, his evidence is going to be Trump said a thing. Which is not evidence. It's a claim.
Trump's been saying. He's revealed this plan to everyone already. Why do I believe that this is part of the plan and Trump will be president soon? Because he told us this is going according to plan and that he'll be president soon. He told us. Listen to these words. These are just 12 of over 100 positive statements he said very recently, even after the whole election. Listen carefully. Stay with me.
God, he sounds so desperate. He wants so badly to believe the things he's saying. It's palpable.
Deplorables. You'll love how this movie ends. These are all statements that Trump said word for word. Our brightest days are just ahead. The best is yet to come. We are winning. We will win. We will win, and we will win big. Ultimately, we will win. I know that was 4 that sounded similar, but the point is he's talking over and over and over and over again about how we're winning. 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 That would be a huge hint that this is all part of the plan. We're still on that winning streak. No matter what it looks like, you're about to find out that we're still on that winning streak. One more evidence? Trump said he'll be president soon, guys. Listen.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support you've shown. We're going to take back the Senate, take back the House. We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think it's...
Yeah, Trump smells his own farts, and he's bought his own bullshit, and I think he's heard other QAnon people talking about the whole August thing, and now he believes it for some reason. That doesn't make it true. Donald Trump is a narcissist. He's wrong, Peter. He's just wrong. Remember how Trump also said he would win the election, and then he said, oh, we're going to take this stuff to the Supreme Court, and we're going to win, and then they lost? Trump is wrong a lot of the time. Towing24 says Daddy's not gone. He's just getting cigarettes any day now. I'm going to grab a hair tie real quick. Oh, that feels better.
It's going to be really something special, but the love and the affection and the respect that you've given all of us, it's really important. The Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been, and it's going to be a lot stronger than it is right now. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Thank you all very much. That support has been so incredible. Thank you.
Trump said, before 2022, something has to be done. A lot of great things are happening. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens.
That is the creepiest look. Look, hold on.
Next time, I caught them all. Let's see what happens.
This is what's known in the biz as the Stanley Kubrick shot. what's it called? The Kubrick stare. That's what this has become known as. It's to tell you that the character is crazy, and Peter is straight up doing it IRL, which isn't great. Look at that. Look at that look. That's horrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. And I need to save this for the thumbnail. Print screen. Because that's some good shit. Hold on. Let me save this. All work and no play makes Q a dull boy. That is a scary look, Peter. Please stop.
Next time I'm in the White House, we're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think.
If nothing happens on Flag Day, Peter's going to turn his family into a kitten suit. One Speedy Yoshi says, so, here's what I'll never understand. If this is all a movie, why are people actively being hurt and stuff like he said? Wouldn't that make Trump bad to let us live out a few bad months just to see how it is? Like, if you're a parent, you don't just let your kid do bad stuff for a few months. You make them stop right away so they don't get hurt or die. Like, Peter thinks is happening. Yeah, it's completely bonkers. Looney Tunes theme.
These are all statements Trump has made.
No
In
TV
fact, the
and
last
no
one was
beer
a statement
makes
that's made
Peter
recently.
something
Check out this
something.
video.
We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think, it's going to be really something special.
So, what do we know if you take a look at these statements? What we know is that we're still winning. What we know is that something big will happen this year. Trump's basically told us at this point. What is it? He's taking back the White House sooner than we think. Many people think it's 2024. Wrong. Some people think 2022. Wrong. This year. Remember, he said something.
Okay, I'm going to remember that you said 2022 is wrong, Peter. I'll remember that. Why do I get the feeling that we're going to be here in another year and Peter's going to be making the same claims?
Something has to be done this year, before 2022. So
Krizia says it's become known as the Kubrick stare, but the original Psycho was an earlier use of it. Yeah, Norman Bates. Spike in the lens at the end. Or Mother, rather. Daddy Sume with a link.
Don't mind if I do.
things are going exactly as planned, and we're going to find out, and we're going to see that more and more every day. There's a reason Trump said, we're winning, we're winning, we're winning. Our brightest days are just ahead. I caught the swamp. I'm going to be in the White House soon. Come on, guys.
Because he's conning you. You're a mark. Hydrate. Okay.
I don't think it could be more clear. I know there's the brainwashing machines out there, the fake news that you're even exposed to it. You start to think that Republicans are losing. Remember, these are brainwashing programs.
I know it seems like everything's going badly for Republicans, guys, but trust me, we're winning! Cool, Peter. Cool. The Kubrick stare. Oh, that's pretty good. He'll make the same claims, but you will have breasts. That will be better. Good for you. I find that my body that I'm more comfortable with makes dealing with crazy people a lot easier, too.
Washing machines. Stay away from TV, cable, all the fake news. And just pay attention to the Great Awakening. If you do that, you'll see that we are winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. I'm not tired of winning yet, but I sure am enjoying the winning. But I think soon we'll be winning so much, I might just get tired of all this winning. Guys, we have it in the bag. Everything's going exactly as planned.
The boob club is fun, but it comes with... Today I went and I had to take Cassie into the vet. She's okay. It was just a follow-up. visit from something that she had been put on antibiotics for like a month ago or something. She's good. But my AC in my car is out of refrigerant, so it's blowing hot air, and it's hot out today. It was like 86 or something. So I was just wearing a t-shirt, and I'm going to be honest, I wasn't wearing a bra because I wasn't leaving the car or anything. I just sat in the car the whole time because that's what the vet is doing now because of COVID. But, like, I legit had... I'm wearing a different shirt because I took a shower, but I had full-on boob sweat stains all across my t-shirt that I was wearing. It was bad. One Speedy Yoshi says, it's hot out today. You're wearing a t-shirt. Hot girl summer. Let's go. Tucker White says, Peter's right, but for the wrong reasons. The media does make it look like the Republicans are losing, despite the fact that it's literally taking either the House or the Senate in 2022, because there's virtually no real difference between the GOP and the Democratic Party now. I can't agree with the last statement. I don't agree with the Democratic Party and how it works, but calling it the exact same as the GOP or virtually identical is way too far and untrue. Bardlock Moses says, laughs in Floridian. Jamie Lynn Turner says, I think that all the pot he's doing is making him eat too much. I don't want to, I'm not going to say that. One Speedy Yoshi says, if I ever have boobs, I want them to be like Miss Chokesundick from, Miss Chokesundick from South Park. Gotcha. Daddy Sume says, winning also good for you, Hannah. Boob sweat stains are the next step on your journey into womanhood. Welcome to the family.
Are you bipolar? I'm bi winning. Win here, win there, win everywhere. Winner. Absolute victory.
God, what is Charlie Sheen up to? Is he still a thing?
We want Joe Biden to be president.
The differences are nothing more than political footballs at best and distractions from anything important at worst. Ah, yes, because the Republicans trying to dismantle democracy is clearly the same as Democrats just being corporatist hacks. Exactly the same thing. Big brain move. What an enlightened centrist.
Appreciate that Biden fell into the trap and became president because this was a big sting operation to trap all the rat creatures, all the swamp, and now...
Again, he's talking about human beings that he wants killed by the government. Razzle Tazzle says, the boob sweat sucks, but that feeling when you lift your boobs up and release the heat. 12 out of 10.
They have to get the death penalty, which was, for most of them, their original sentence. Committing treason, penalty is death. And
is it you or are the Republicans starting to get crazy? Starting.
Most of these rats deserve the death penalty, so he caught them in a trap.
Oh, I think in light of all of the things going...
This is a clip from around the time, I think this was the first impeachment.
Going on, and you know what I mean by that. The fake news, the Comeys of the world.
Yeah, this is from the first impeachment.
All of the bad things that went on. It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it.
This wasn't a normal election. Remember we were told that? Not just another election. This was the one to catch all the rats. And now...
Sky Comet Fallen says, this is Peter. Just a flesh wound. I definitely can't play this clip. But I get it.
If Trump does everything right, and hopefully he does, he will be able to become president soon. And now they've committed all these crimes of treason. He can arrest them, give them the prison sentences, and execute them if that's what the law says. If that's what, they have to do this legally through the court.
It doesn't say that. There's going to be firing
squads, there's going to be hangings. A lot of this is going to be public. So I'm very excited. I very appreciate all the rats.
Again, his coping mechanism and his hopium is imagining his political enemies being murdered in the streets. Pyromancer says, Peter saying if and not when there is telling.
Dumb enough to fall for the election. As Linwood says, if you think Trump's is going to let them get away with this, you don't know the military, You don't know Donald Trump. These are geniuses. And whether you want to believe it or not, they are working with benevolent group of extraterrestrial geniuses known as Majestic 12. And they're the real masterminds behind this whole strategy. And they're slaying it. They're winning so much. And you'll start to see how this is all part of the plan very soon. So be excited, guys. Now you might be thinking...
I like how casually he's slipping in the alien stuff now without even explaining it. I genuinely... Is there anyone here who... Maybe this is your first time here and you don't know anything about Peter and you didn't know the aliens thing until he just said it? That's so funny that he's just like slipping it in now. E-Tune says, I fell asleep in the middle of the Ben Shapiro segment. What did you miss? Peter having a bad time. Who's the mastermind, M12 or Trump? He's kind of going back and forth on that. They said they were Trump's handlers, but he's also acting like Trump is in charge, so I don't know.
Exactly why is this all good? Why is it good that Biden's president? Well, the way that Biden became president was very unconventional. This is not...
By winning the most votes ever? I know, that is unconventional. Tucker White says, ah yes, Trump the genius who couldn't remember the words to America's theme song. You know, the thing we are all forced to stand up and recite in school every day. Razzle Tazzle. When did I miss that Trump is an alien? No, Trump isn't an alien. He's working with the aliens. Get your facts straight.
Not a normal way to become president. And because of that way... That opens it up so that now the election was a big trap, and now there is so much power for Trump when he
That's not how anything works. Mike Mack says, Majestic 12 are inept as the Illuminati. I guess so.
Become president to legally arrest all these people for their crimes. Because, think about it. If Obama pardoned them, and Trump needed them to commit some crimes, to get the same sentence they would have got originally, what do?
Unconventional. He won the popular vote? You know, for Republicans, that is unconventional. So, Daddy Sume says, at least the Illuminati existed as an organization at some point. Did they?
A trap. So, speaking from that perspective, it's clear that we wanted the election to go exactly as it went, and it did. And now when Trump becomes president...
It's not what you've been saying the last... year or whatever, Peter, but okay, change your narrative now. That's fine.
Justice will be served to all of these criminals. Guys, we have this in the bag. Everything's going perfectly according to plan. Trump's birthday is going to kick this all off. We are going to have a...
It's in 4 days. Hold on, what date's that? Oh, good. It's the day after the Bethesda E3 showcase. I wanted to make sure that happened before the bloody coup. I want to see Starfield.
Blast. Enjoy it. And get involved.
Do I think Peter will ever go full day of the rope? Maybe. There's lots of guns in his house. He says he's not that into guns. I imagine he knows how to use them, though. Pyromancer says I'd watch a TV series about 2 inept secret organizations fighting each other. Blackwing Hecty says... Who does he think Obama pardoned? I might have a stupidity-induced stroke. He thinks basically all Democrats, that he thinks are Satanists.
Because this is the biggest battle in all of human history. We have a role, God and Trump and General Flynn and everyone who's good has been asked as a step up, get involved in the fight, donate, share videos, wake people up, you know, use memes as ammunition. Red pill everyone. We are in the middle of the Great Awakening and we're saving the world with Trump and we're on a winning streak. Join the winning team. Help us. You want to be able to tell people that when Trump tried saving the world, he succeeded, and I was one of those people that helped him. We are all patriots.
You know what? I'm on board, Peter. Tell me what I gotta do. Tell me how to weaponize memes. Is Peter a Pizzagate believer? I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Andrew Patella says, not that into guns doesn't mean much considering he's in a literal gun cult. Hey, don't bring that up. He doesn't want to talk about it. Tater Manmill says, just jumped in. You look beautiful with your hair up. Oh, thank you.
patriots. We're all doing this together. We're all winning. And now that I understand the plan well, I so appreciate that Biden is president. These people are stupid and they fell for the trap. And now they are going to get in big, big trouble when Trump comes back. Everyone, hope you enjoyed the show. I hope this provides a bigger perspective, a higher perspective. That's what Peter Scott High Politics is about. Providing you the bigger picture so you can see more clearly what's really going on. What's really going on? What's really going on is that things are still going perfectly according to plan. That's what's really going on when you're looking at it from a higher perspective and putting a whole bunch of information together so that you can see a clear picture of what's going on. We are winning, winning, winning. So enjoy the day, have fun, relax, support the patriots that are fighting in any way you can, money, time, just talking to people, getting involved. And together, we're going to continue winning, and we're going to have major victories this year. I'm so excited.
You're going to have major victories? I thought you were already winning, Peter. I thought you were so sick of winning.
So excited. All right, everyone. Enjoy.
As everybody knows.
Oh, this is creepy. This end video is the creepiest shit. Check this out. There's even, like, ominous music that they put over this.
My family, our great country, and your president have been put through a terrible ordeal by some very dishonest and corrupt people. They have done everything possible to destroy us, and by so doing, very badly hurt our nation. They know what they are doing is wrong, but they put themselves far ahead of our great country. Weeks ago and again yesterday, courageous Republican politicians and leaders had the wisdom, fortitude, and strength to do what everyone knows was right. I don't like people who use their faith as justification for doing what they know is wrong. Nor do I like people who say, I pray for you, when they know that that's not so. So many people have been hurt. We can't let that go on.
That's horrifying. Why would Peter play creepy video with music making Donald Trump sound even more like a fascist? So strange. So Peter's doing very, very badly, and I'm concerned for the safety of his family and himself. Razzle Tazzle says, soldiers, load your rifles with the dankest of memes. Daddy Sume says, providing a higher perspective. That and some isopropyl alcohol. Bumble Homestead says, well, it sounds a bit odd after all the alien conspiracies, but I hope he's okay. Oh yeah, he is teetering on the edge. Mike Mack says, yes, let's be sad for the rich guy. Biomancer says, this needs some yakety sax instead of ominous music. And Mike Mack says, so he hates his political party. Yeah, he's a fascist. He doesn't want to be part of a political party. He wants people to get in line behind him and be a cult of personality. Has Peter replied to me yet? No, not yet. I'm hoping it's just like his kid was born and not something else. Thanks for the message, Jezebel End. I'll fix that. I just don't touch that channel like ever. So. That channel's getting completely rebooted soon too for Campaign 2 of Charisma Saves. It's turning completely into a Charisma Saves channel. So we talked about Doomcock. Someone made a video about the drama. It's the okay. We can check this out quickly. You mean getting reloaded? No, it's not that. It's the unpopular culture channel that we used to have where we talk about media stuff. and now it hosts our D&D games. We're going to be converting all the banner stuff to charisma saves.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Nothing on Marcel yet.
Don't you hate it when you make a point or you make an argument and people look at you and go, okay, like sure, whatever you have to say, buddy. But then someone else says that exact same point and argument and then everyone goes, whoa, that's profound. You're so thoughtful and intellectual. It's really upsetting. And I'm not saying I'm going through that right now, but I am saying it is kind of curious to watch what's happening to the fandom menace as it slowly but surely seems to fall apart right now. And this past weekend really surprised me. I've been away from the Star Wars stuff. I know, I'm sorry. I just sometimes don't care anymore, and also there's just not a lot to talk about. The Bad Batch is whatever, but there's not a lot to go around. And so, of course, we in the Star Wars community, we like to make up some fake news. We like to start some drama. And we all know that Doomcock and fake news go together like Rey and Kylo Ren at the end of Rise of Skywalker. It's uncomfortable, it's weird, but for some reason, everyone's watching. But to my point, what happened this weekend was Ryan Kennel from RK Outpost. He is a YouTuber who's part of the Geeks and Gamers stuff. I think he's part of the Fandom Menace. I have no idea who's part of that anymore because people either are with it or they disassociate themselves with it. Either way, Ryan is a typical angry guy at modern day pop culture and anti-SJW, what have you, and he made a stream basically saying that he doesn't believe in Doomcock's sources anymore. He thinks it's bullshit. He called people who believed his reports and all that stuff, all these rumors that he always puts out, he called them the R word, which my trusty inside sources did say is no longer allowed to say openly, so I guess we have to call it the R word now. But anyways, Ryan Kennel basically said he doesn't believe Doomcock's sources anymore because it's kind of been the same thing for years at this point.
Yeah, Doomcock's full of shit. Doomcock lies in every video, makes up stuff or gets rumors from 4chan, and is wrong every single time. And he still has an audience. I don't get it.
Actually, if you actually believe some fucking dude who says he got 8 different sources and has said 25 different things and none of them have come true, and you continue to hang on his every word when he says, oh, another source came out and said 80% of what I've told you is true.
And then they'll go to the Reddit. They'll be like, oh, but he got the plot of Rise of Skywalker. Everyone had that. It was posted to Reddit. I had that. Burger King had that. Burger King in Germany did a whole ad about the Rise of Skywalker plot leak. That was all over the internet, but they're like, oh, but Doomcock also read that thing and reported on it. It's like, yeah, everyone had it. He doesn't get points for that.
You are fucking retarded if you can't see that shit. You might as well go sip for Geeky Pixie.
And he's not wrong. If you look back at Doomcock's videos, he has said for many years now the same things. Specifically, Kathleen Kennedy is being replaced by George Lucas over there at Lucasfilm. And then Doomcock kind of lost his mind about this. I don't really know everything about their social circle. I know people like Nerds Roddick, which is a guy named Gary, who I also don't really like. And now Doomcock is kind of getting upset with Ryan, but also upset with Gary, because of what Ryan said, Doomcock is running to Gary from Nerds Roddick and being like, hey, you need to deal with this and handle this and all that stuff. And so Doomcock's kind of lost his mind, which is funny because anytime we criticize him, anytime anyone with a brain who says, hey, he's clearly lying to everyone and this is all fake news, when we say it, he doesn't care. But when it's someone that he respects, when it's someone that he knows, when it's someone in that same thought circle, he loses his mind. Why is that? Because when you have an image, you cannot let people who believe that image, you cannot let people inside your group look at you a different way, because that affects your image and that affects the revenue, that affects people's perception of you as a figure in that community, and mainly as an influencer when it comes to this information that he puts out. So Doomcock is trying to defend himself on Twitter, making points of saying oh, I always say this is just a rumor, I never say it's 100% factual, even though he tweeted not too long ago about another source who went into the dark or whatever, and they confirmed 85% of what he was saying about Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm or whatever. So I don't understand how someone can confirm an inside scoop that you say is just a rumor, but then you also say it's still a rumor even though I have 2 sources confirming it. Do you have a source or do you not? And also, what does Gary have to do with this? I'm really confused why Doomcock is running to this guy named Gary to deal with Ryan talking shit about him. Why don't you just go to Ryan and talk to him privately, talk to him like a man in general? Like, why are you making this such a big to-do? Like, it's really confusing how these group of guys who are always saying that they're the alpha males, they're not betas, all these SJWs, man, they're a bunch of pussies. But when it comes to this situation, they're acting like a bunch of high school drama girls. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, you're acting all high and mighty all the time, but then the second someone you like or someone that's a friend with you...
I'm already bored of this video. Like, I get it. Doomcock is a piece of shit, but I found that to be a little boring. I'm going to save this one for Cult Watch. Cults. That's Peter. Cute. I don't know how far into this Tim Pool video I'm even going to get, because I really don't feel like listening to Tim Pool right now for some reason, but I did put it in the title, so at least let's try to check out this Tim Pool video titled, Democrats mandating vaccine segregation is splitting the country in half. GOP bans vaccine passports.
There are a lot of things dividing this nation. For the longest time, it was the culture war, and then people started saying it was a cold civil war. Call it whatever you want. There are a lot of different things dividing this nation.
You called it a cold civil war, Tim. I've never heard another person use that term.
People are always trying to figure out what it is, critical race theory being a core component. Well, now, the Democrat tribe has opted for vaccine segregation. In many...
Again, comparing not letting you around vaccinated people because you haven't gotten the vaccine and we're in the middle of a global pandemic, or rather near the end of a global pandemic, hopefully, and comparing it to segregation or apartheid or anything, you're just a fucking asshole. Genuinely. Oh, I'm being discriminated against. No, this is not about your race. This is about you refusing to get a medicine, you douche. Fuck you.
Many instances, there's outright bans on people who...
Vosh asked Tim what critical race theory was, and Tim said he couldn't describe it. I'm shocked.
Aren't vaccinated from entering certain facilities. In Washington State, for instance, they're going full vaccine passport. Many universities, colleges are saying you must be vaccinated to attend the school.
Good.
United Airlines is saying they won't hire you if you haven't got the vaccine.
Good.
We're now learning of a Foo Fighters concert in New York. And I know I tweeted this and people were immediately like, who cares? I'm not a fan of the Foo Fighters. Sure, whatever. That's not the point. You can't go to the concert unless you are vaccinated.
Okay. Good.
Now, of course, if you get vaccinated, by all means, go talk to your doctor, ask for their medical opinions based on whatever criteria you're concerned about. And if it makes sense for you, then, do what you want to do. Don't let anyone discourage you. The problem is some people can't get vaccines. No joke. There was this big story about a band called Teenage Bottle Rocket charging $1,000 per ticket for their show.
I find this so funny, too. Because if we were to actually do, like, nationwide vaccine mandate stuff, or at least, like, you needed it, then there would also be exemption stuff. Because when we're talking about this, we understand that there are some people who genuinely can't get vaccinated for one reason or another due to allergic reactions or whatever. That's fine. I have no problem with those people. But that's not who these requirements are for. Those people should get exemptions if they genuinely can't. This is about people who are refusing to get vaccinated for some other reason. Like, Tim, fuck those people, and fuck you if you're one of them. H. Baird says, what's sad is that these people are just recycling Tea Party comment section talking points. Within 6 months, they'll be talking about Antonio Gramsci and Gramscianism. I don't know what that is. Mike Mack says, why he wear a hat all the time, and the Foo Fighters thing is ironic. Were they the band that did the AIDS denialism stuff back in the day? Or am I thinking of a different band?
Show, as if anybody would pay that. But if you can prove you were vaccinated, It was only $18. It was
Yeah.
a massive
Shame.
discount. The problem? One of their biggest fans announced that they went to the doctor, and the doctor said for a certain medical reason they could not provide them with the vaccine. That's just a sad reality. Some people have allergic reactions. Some people, because they already had COVID, no joke, this is one of the big reasons. If you've already had COVID, a doctor might say you can't get the vaccine, so sorry. So then what? You can't go to college? You can't work for an airline? Vaccine segregation, I understand the reason why the Democrats want to do it. But it is the Democrats advocating for these things.
Wait, United Airlines is the Democrats now? The Foo Fighters are the Democrats now? Cool.
And it's a political conundrum, I understand. I understand the argument for vaccination. We don't like COVID. We don't want people getting sick. And so, again, these things have been made readily available by the government. They're really easy to get. And so the left is then saying you have no excuse. But there is a real reason. Some people go to the doctor and they're told no.
And they should be able to get exemptions. Real exemptions. Not your bullshit, oh, I just don't want it exemptions. Nick says, 2 of my coworkers had COVID and both got vaccinated. They just had to be COVID-free for 3 months. And Chrysia says, I'm still fully convinced he is the beanie piloting the meat suit.
But take a look at the political ramifications of this, because even reaching outside of any of this, there are people who just won't go and get it. I don't know what you do, or
fuck
if they
them
don't want to. I mean, it's
then
America; they have a
fuck
choice,
them.
I suppose. And once again, the Democrats and the left argue, well, then you choose not to go to these events. Why should everybody else, be worried? Well, I mean, they're vaccinated, though. Why are they worried about you who's not vaccinated?
Because you can get new strains, Tim. This has been explained so often. It would also be like saying, oh, you're on birth control. Why should we bother using a condom? Or the opposite. You're using a condom. Why should I be on birth control? Like, nothing is ever 100%, Tim. Alright, we're only 2 minutes in. I'm already done with Tim. I can't deal with more of that. That's a 30-minute video of a dumbass, and I just cannot handle it. And I just listened to Peter talk about how aliens are helping Donald Trump get put back into the White House by August. And I can handle that, but I can't handle Tim Pool grifting. What a fucking loser. Harkenbon with 100 bits says, hey, related to today's Chud Watch, I'm an admin of a large furry group on Telegram, and we've been harassed and infiltrated by Nazi furs who were quickly banned. I bring this up because there are a lot of leaks of their own group's chat logs, and Milo Yiannopoulos and infamous furry Foxler were a part of it. Oh, Jesus Christ, what were they saying? Vegan lady? I feel that.
Hello, students! Welcome back to class. And welcome to everybody who has declared this to be their Happy Vegan Declaration Day. The animals, thank you so much, and so do I. I am so proud of you. You are now an animal defender, and you are brave, and you are vegan. That's amazing. So, let me check out my list. My list says here, Frank, Joey, Danielle, Keisha, Jasmine, Emma, Noah, George, Tom, Bram, Gina. Those are all the ones I put on my list just for now. There's more, and there's more always. Every day people are telling me that they have become vegan because of me, and it is so wonderful to hear.
Oh my goodness. I want to know the kind of person that actually gets convinced by her to be vegan. That's got to be a very interesting person. Mike Mack says, Tim, what about people in a boat wearing life jackets worrying about others not wearing a life jacket? It's the same concept. Argonian Bum says, for the love of Satan, please replace her segments with Tansy.
So, let's have a listen to the Happy Vegan Declaration Day song. Ready? If you have a ukulele, get it out. We're going to play some C's, we're going to play some G's, and some F's. It's really, really easy to learn. Okay, we're going to start on a C. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Whether you've been vegan for a lifetime or just a minute, welcome to the club. We're so glad you're in it. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so proud of you guys. I'm so proud because I know that it takes bravery. You got to be willing to stand up to the crowd, to stand up against all of these big companies and politicians and sometimes your own family. But you guys are doing great. So today we're going to be talking about Greta Thunberg. Now this is going to be my response to iNabber. iNabber, who is somebody who has come to class many times and fails to learn the important message.
iNabber is a fellow YouTuber that has covered Vegan Teacher a few times, I think. I watched one of his recent videos.
Instead of looking at what we're talking about, he gets all distracted in so many other things. I don't know what his problem is, but we are here to tell you, iNabber, that you need to keep your focus on the animals. That is what this class is about. My name is That Vegan Teacher. I care about the animals. I care about stopping exploitation. So I want you to pay attention, iNabber, to this student here who gives a presentation that's pretty good. Okay? Pay attention. This is what I want you to do in your next video.
There's something I would like to talk about. Our relationship with nature is broken. But relationships can change. The climate crisis, ecological crisis, and health crisis, they are all interlinked. We no longer see the links between them. We only see this far. So what will we do? My name is Greta Thunberg, and I would like to connect the dots. Because let's face it, if we don't change, we are f***ed. Millions have died from COVID-19. Zika, Ebola, West Nile fever, SARS, MERS. Up to 75% of all new diseases come from other animals. Because of the way we farm and treat nature, cutting down forests and destroying habitats, we are creating the perfect conditions for this.
Here's something I don't think Vegan Teacher gets in cases like this. Like this video that Greta's in. This is like a decent, I don't even know what you would call it. This is a decent little video on reasons to go vegan, right? Completely fair. Like I've said, I'm far from being against veganism. I just don't like the Vegan Teacher. So this video seems to be doing a fine job of just being like, hey, here are the environmental and health reasons that you should consider going vegan. That's great. I can get behind that. Vegan Teacher, the issue has never been about just the being vegan part. The issue is that you are condescending. You are condescending and a jerk to people, and also a little weird. Remember that when he got banned off TikTok for the N-word video? Like, and the weird comments on LGBT people and how you think it's like, it's selfish to come out as LGBT, but it's like altruistic to come out as vegan. Which, like, sure, being a vegan, that is altruistic. I would agree with that. But you just make weird comparisons. It's not the fact that you're vegan that makes us dislike you. It's the fact that you're awful.
Diseases to spill over from one animal to another and to us. The next pandemic could be much, much worse. But we can change. 83% of the world's agricultural land is used to feed livestock. Yet, livestock only provide 18% of our calories. The way we make food, raising animals to eat, clearing land to grow food to feed those animals. If we continue, we will run out of land and food. It just doesn't make sense. The land requirements of meat and dairy production are equivalent to an area the size of North and South America combined.
She is going to talk.
Did you hear that? Let's rewind that just to make sure that you heard it properly.
The land requirements of meat and dairy production are equivalent to an area the size of North and South America combined.
Are you paying attention, iNabber?
Again, this is what I'm saying. This is how she takes a good message and completely fucks it, right? So just playing the video is enough. Like, if that's a true fact, that the amount of space we use collectively to grow, or rather to raise livestock and produce dairy products, if that is genuinely as big as North and South America, like, that's a lot. That's sort of one of those statistics that, again, if it's true, I'm not going to fact check it because I don't really care right now. It grabs you. You're like, wow, that's shocking. I didn't realize that. But then that vegan teacher comes in and has to be condescending about it and completely ruins the argument. Again, we're talking strictly rhetorically. Like, the point is still the point. But that's not how people listen and learn, right? Her being like, are you listening, I-nabber? It turns people off, and that's why people don't like you. It has nothing to do with you being vegan. Be vegan, that's great, it's fine. It's awesome. Just stop being like this. Stop being obnoxious. Vast Lunacy says, this reminds me when teachers stand next to the video and pause to yell at misbehaving kids in the back. Nick says, this is the second vegan teacher video in a row in which I've handled meat. And Mike Mack says, I guess Thanos was right.
This is what I want you to do. To think beyond yourself. To care about future...
Come on, she's just a mom? First of all, I don't know that. Second of all, do you think that it's mutually exclusive to be condescending and bad at messaging while also being a mom? Can you not criticize anyone who's given birth? That's an interesting point of view.
Future generations. To care about the planet. And the animals who suffer so much every day. Because you keep talking about how it's okay to eat them. And that is so morally wrong of you.
From Alaska to Tierra del Fuego, we have industrialized life on Earth. If we keep making food...
She's annoying, but right. Was she right when she made that video with the N-word? Was that cool? Was she right when she said that it's selfish to come out as LGBT? I'm just curious.
The way we do, we will also destroy the habitats of most wild plants and animals, driving countless species to extinction.
You missed that? Yeah.
I-nabber, do you care about any of the animals? Let's play that over again.
Making food the way we do, we will also destroy the habitats of most wild
Okay, I'm skipping to the end of the
plants
actual...
Do you care about elephants?
Wait, is this the whole video as her watching this? Oh, Jesus.
Do you care about giraffes? Do you care about anything else besides yourself? And your...
Let me see. Who on this list do I care about? I care about elephants. I care about giraffes. Bees, sure. Ants, no. Ants creep me out. Hedgehogs, yes. Mostly because of Sonic. Lions. That butterfly can eat shit. I hate butterflies. I'm okay with the frog. The frog can stay. The birds are okay too.
Your own community.
Land used for ranching would likely be unusable otherwise. Maybe. I don't know. Nick says, we don't need a ton of land for planting crops, though. It needs to be specifically arable land, so, or areable. Barlock Moses says, there are humans that don't care about other humans. That's true. Do I still hate the sound of wings flapping? I'm not a big fan.
Empathy.
Why do I hate butterflies? They creep me out.
If you have empathy in your heart, I-nabber, you will be able to understand that others feel pain and that we have a moral responsibility to the next generation.
In fairness, I've never eaten an elephant. Just putting that out there. Towing24 says her problem is that she's a malignant narcissist like Trump. The only reason she seems to care about being a vegan is so she can lord it over everyone else and be smugly self-satisfied. A lot of her videos feel that way.
And to the other sentient beings on the planet, it's not just about us seeing from here to here.
Oh, she's definitely a clout chaser too. Because she does response videos to people, but she only does them to channels that are like bigger than her, which happens. I'm not saying that she shouldn't do that. I understand it. It's just a very cynical, calculated move, you know?
I know your name is Fraser, so I'm gonna call you Fraser from now on.
Why? Weird. One Speedy Yoshi says, butterflies, you say, and then there's a video. No, this is the clip that I think made me get creeped out by butterflies. I don't like it. Ah! Yes, I've been told it's not really a butterfly. It's a horsefly or something. It doesn't matter. My association is there, okay? Oh! No.
When I sing my song, the Happy Vegan
No, I believe it's his name. It's just weird that she's, like, calling him by his real name. It's odd.
Declaration Day song, and I name people, your name should be in that list. It should be. There's no excuse for animal abuse. There's no excuse for what you're doing on your channel. Absolutely none.
Animals, driving countless species to extinction. This really sucks for us too.
Can't wait for
They are our
Halloween.
life supporting
Why?
system. If we lose them, we will be lost too. In the words of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, for too long we have been waging a senseless and suicidal war on nature. And what about the climate? We know that we need to drastically reduce our emissions starting now. When we think about the villains of the climate crisis, of course we picture fossil fuel companies. But agriculture and land use together are about 1/4 of our emissions.
That goes back to what's on your plate, Einabber. You can make a difference. Change, and your audience will change with you. Encourage them to watch the important documentaries, Dominion Movement, Earthlings, Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy. Watch them and learn and follow Greta's example.
This is huge. It doesn't have to be like this. If we change towards a plant-based diet, we could save up to 8 billion tons of CO2 every single year.
It's best for the environment, Einabber. Keep your eye on what actually matters.
Again, vegan teacher, I saw Einabber's video. His complaints weren't like... his complaints were not, I hate veganism and you shouldn't go vegan. Far from it. His argument was, you're condescending, and I think he specifically was talking about the fact that you were being creepy to an underage or young Minecraft YouTuber or something, which has nothing to do with veganism.
Attacking animal rights activists does nothing to make the world a better place.
He's not attacking you for being an animal rights activist, he's attacking you for being a weirdo. One Speedy Yoshi says, Cowspiracy, you mean mooing on? That one hurt me. I'm gonna take a second to recover from that.
Focus on yourself and what you do 3 meals a day. Fraser, I know it's hard for you to control what you eat, but this is not about you. It's about not stealing. Do you believe that it's okay to steal, or do you think it's not okay to steal? If you don't want to steal and you think stealing is wrong, don't steal the future from the next generations. Don't steal the milk from cows.
I mean, compared to you, Einabber is the next generation, so that's kind of weird. Marcus Drake. Marcus Drake redeems a time somebody else out, and it's One Speedy Yoshi. So someone time out One Speedy Yoshi for like 2 minutes or something.
Don't
Please.
steal honey from the bees. Don't steal the fur from
Sorry,
animals or
Speedy
their
Yoshi.
feathers.
You
Don't
know how it is.
steal baby cows from their mothers and pay people to kill them and turn them into veal. Don't steal animals' lives. Fraser, be better. Be vegan. Be brave. have some guts. Like she does. Yeah.
We could feed ourselves on much less land, and nature could recover.
Let's have a look at that statistic.
To 8 billion tons of CO2 every single year.
I know that means nothing to you. The figure is astronomical. That's all you need to know. And you're contributing to this destruction.
We could feed ourselves on much less land.
76% less land, Einaber. Do you understand? Because when we cut down all of the trees and we plant crops that we feed to animals, it is inefficient. It is far better for us humans to eat them directly and not for us to stop creating these animals in the first place. You see,
that's... How do I put this? An oversimplification to the point that it doesn't really reflect the reality of what's going on. So when we eat meat, or when we raise livestock, what we're effectively doing is turning calories we can't consume into calories we can consume. So like beef, for instance, you have cows or steer, whatever, and you take them out and you feed them grass, right? Grass or some other kind of feed. But in this, for simplicity's sake, we'll say grass, okay? Humans don't typically eat just wild grass, right? If we eat anything like that, the closest is like wheat or something. But we don't typically eat just wild grass. However, if a cow eats wild grass, they can absorb those calories, and then if we eat the cow, then we're effectively getting energy from the grass without having to directly eat the grass, which we can't really digest well anyway. So there's some land, a lot of land, in fact, I would imagine, that's not necessarily good for growing human crops, but might have grass or some other thing on it that other animals can eat. We can have the animals eat that, and then we can eat the animals. This is necessary in some places, especially in developing nations, where food scarcity is more of an issue, and they can't just decide, well, let's go plant a field of corn or whatever.
see the cows, the pigs, the chickens.
Towing24 says, if she's still alive when lab meat is cheap enough to overtake regular meat, she'd bitch about that. I feel like she probably would. Nick says, yeah, but it's not as tasty.
That are here right now, it is us who forced them into existence. This ridiculous idea that people say that the world will be overpopulated if we don't eat animals makes no sense whatsoever, because we are the ones who create them to begin with. We make these factory farms, which are terrible places, concentration camps. And then, just like in World War II, they gassed humans.
Stop making the comparison to the Holocaust. Doesn't make you look great.
We continue this horrific practice by gassing pigs. Every time you make a joke about eating animals, that's what you're contributing to. And that is going to be your legacy, Fraser. Your legacy will be, I knew it was wrong, and I didn't give a shit. I just kept talking about, hey, go ahead and eat at McDonald's. You love saying that word, don't you? Stop.
Which word? McDonald's? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Logarth, this is one of the big reasons why agrarian societies domesticated animals. Ashy Boo says, it's not that she actually gives a shit, she just likes to feel morally superior. And Slowdog52 says, just observing that if we ever went all vegan like she wants, it would be an apocalypse for farm animals. With no need to maintain these herds, a lot of domesticated breeds would disappear outside of zoos. I don't think she cares. That's actually a complicated question anyway. Like, in a situation where, let's say overnight, magically, someone makes a wish, a genie wish or something, and humans no longer are omnivores. They're herbivores, okay? In that situation, does she imagine that we would just open the doors of the factory farm slaughterhouse and let all the animals go free? No, they'd still kill all the animals, probably, and then just shut the factory down. In that case, the animals die anyway. Now, you can argue morally that that's still morally sound because you're no longer forcibly breeding these animals and perpetuating this cycle of treating the animals poorly, but you're still killing all the animals, even if you don't eat them. Hydrate. Okay.
Change. Grow up. She's much younger than you, and her heart is 10 times bigger, and so is her brain. But hey, anyone can change.
Sarcastic comment about a veggie future. Mom, I've decided I'm a vegetarian. I can't eat these meatballs. The beef in those meatballs comes from the Black Angus cattle. Black Angus cattle have tiny horns and have many genetic disorders. They continue to exist in abundance only because humans cultivate them for consumption. The moment that stops, they'll dwindle out of existence, and no mind of any sort will ever again know what it was to be a Black Angus cow. Meat is murder. Vegetarianism is genocide. You could have just said I'm not making 2 dinners. I don't negotiate with monsters. Jesus.
Just do the mental exercise required.
And nature could recover. Pandemics,
Colleen says, grow up, you're the weird baby play. You first weird baby play lady.
What they all come down to is the way we treat nature, the way we value nature. We need a system change. But we can fix this. Because we are part of nature. When we protect nature, we are nature protecting itself. And finally, the animals. Every year we kill more than 60 billion animals.
Stop hurting
excluding
them.
Fish, whose numbers are so great that we only measure their lives by weight.
I don't know why she says it like that. You think we're going to count individual fish? One Speedy Yoshi says, whenever the video shows a picture of a monkey, I just think of this.
Uh-oh. Stinky. Uh-oh. Stinky. Uh-oh. Stinky. Uh-oh. Stinky. Stinky.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? What?
What about their thoughts and feelings? Some animals plan for the future, forge friendships that last for decades. They play, they help each other. They show signs of what we call empathy. But 70%...
Animals show signs of what we call empathy. Empathy, Fraser. Caring. Not just about you. About others.
Are animals capable of condescension? Because you're kind of nailing it right now, and I'm curious if they have the same ability.
Compassion. Let's go back and listen to that one more time.
Friendships that last for decades. They play, they help each other.
Mike Mack says, remember when people said that insults like burn brain are bad for animals? Also, does she recycle all her trash, drive a car, buy clothes not made by factory?
The animals we...
This is why... I think framing like veganism and to a larger extent environmentalism as harm reduction and mitigation is much more useful, right? Because treating it like it's this all or nothing thing makes it feel insurmountable to so many people. And it's impossible to live with no negative impact, right? I think someone once said there's no ethical consumption under capitalism or whatever, but there's a reason that sentiment continued to exist. We live in such a complicated, intertwined world that exploitation is happening somewhere that you're a part of because you're consuming products, you're driving a car, you're eating certain things that are going to come from certain sources that maybe use exploitative labor practices or whatever. Whether it's making suffering of humans or non-human animals, it's happening out there. So the best we can all do is consciously try and be aware of these things and mitigate where possible. Being vegan can be a part of that, whether it's full-time or if you just try and reduce the consumption of meat and dairy products, which is great. Recycling. Being aware of how often you're using your car if it's an internal combustion engine. Considering switching to things like an electric vehicle or a hydrogen fuel cell car as those become more popularized in the future. Like, these things are good. Policy changes that promote green energy. All these things are wonderful. Acting like you're the apex moral being just turns people off. Daddy Sume says, that was literally the entire plot of the last season of The Good Place. Shit is complicated. It is.
Farm live inside factories.
These are baby boy cows, Fraser.
One Speedy Yoshi says, uh-oh, stinky. They're... Okay, am I stupid? Am I about to say something stupid? I was under the opinion that if it's a cow, it's a girl. And then if it's like a bull, it's a boy. Am I wrong? Are these two separate things? Am I stupid? Pyromancer says cows are bulls now. And Mike Mack says, we are so interconnected that one person good is another person's bad.
They're going to be murdered. They were kidnapped from their mothers.
Cow is the animal, bull is the male, heifer is the female. Gotcha.
Try to picture that. When you were just a baby, if somebody had kidnapped you from your mother and put you into one of these boxes, they can't even play. This is their life. This is not just a snapshot and all day they're having fun. This is the remainder of their tiny amount of time on Earth before they are murdered and turned into veal. While their mothers cry and wonder what happened to their babies. And while the babies are there crying, and if you go near them and you try to touch them, they suckle your fingers because they miss their mothers. Their milk. Don't steal their milk. Have compassion.
In the United States, that...
Look how many babies are removed, Fraser. Do you really want to encourage that?
Number is 99.
Do you really want to encourage that?
No. Factory farming is bad. I'd be okay. That's the thing, though. I'm against factory farming, but I don't have an inherent moral aversion to the idea of farming and livestock, as long as it's done while treating the animals well. This is ridiculous, though. I would agree.
Look!
Can you get a link? Sure.
Fucking look! Don't look away.
Okay.
Don't laugh.
Cool.
This is what you're paying for.
Yeah?
This is what you encourage your young audience to do. And to make fun of animal rights activists, people like myself and...
Again, they're not making fun of you for being vegan teacher. They're making fun of you for the way you behave.
Greta, who defend these innocent animals. How dare you?
9%. Their lives are short and terrible. How will we be judged? It is heartbreaking to know all this, but it is also our opportunity. We know what we can do. We can change the way we farm. We can change what we eat.
We can change what we eat, Einaber. Stop eating animals. Stop eating their secretions. Stop paying people to steal their milk. Stop paying people to steal their eggs. Change. If I can change, so can you. I changed much later in life.
I've never seen someone try and do a vegan argument by copying the ending to Rocky IV. If I can change, you can change, we can all change. And that's how Sylvester Stallone ended the Cold War. Nick says, because we're too busy working to make our own humanly harvested meat. Ugh. Mike Mack says, do you think she'll make a video on you, Hannah? No, I have fewer subscribers than her. She only does videos on people with more subscribers than her. Blackwing Hecty says, she makes me want to murder a calf just because I know it would upset her. That's mean. The Poetic Fox, thanks for subscribing for 3 months, says, first trimester, Hannah mom, vegan teacher is word I'm not going to use. She just has to scratch that itch. What the F is this? Jesus. One Speedy Yoshi says, stop eating their secretions. Nah, I like eating the allowed quantity of rat poop in cereal. Humanely, not humanly. That makes more sense, doesn't it? MH Darkbeast says, Greta equals encourages compassion. Vegan teacher equals encourages a bacon double cheeseburger. Blackwing Hecate says, to make matters worse, she's making me angry at Greta, which is awful. And that's funny. Like, the Greta video is fine. Like, that's a good video to try and convince people that, like, the food industry or the meat industry is not what it should be. Great. And then the vegan teacher just shits all over it by being obnoxious.
The only regret that vegans ever have is that they did not become vegan earlier. My mother-in-law is 81 years old. She became vegan at the age of 77. Now, I am vegan for the animals, but it is just a fact. She got off all of her cardiac medication.
What?
That's not what matters to me.
I'm gonna hope you mean because she got in better shape and not because it had animal product in it or something and she's endangering her life by not taking medication she needs. I really, really hope you mean she got in good shape or something. Mike Mack says, is she a PETA member? I don't know. I've never heard her mention PETA.
But what's important is that she stopped living her life in contradiction to her values.
Greta's a child that acts like an adult activist. Isn't she 18? I thought she was an adult. Pyromancer says, the best thing vegan teacher can do for her cause, if she truly cares about it, is to stop making videos.
She opened her fridge one day when she was living with us, and I saw that there was a dead cow in there, a dead baby veal. And I said to her, do you understand what's in that styrofoam? That is a dead baby cow. I spend my life fighting against people who hurt these animals. And she looked at the cow, and she looked at my eyes, and she got it. She got it.
She was in her 70s, it didn't connect until that moment that the food she eats when it's meat, it's from an animal. Yikes. Blackwing Hecate says, I may not be vegan, but I am humanitarian, brandishes fork and knife.
She never bought a single animal again. She changed. She was 77 and Italian. She stopped eating cheese. She stopped drinking milk. Do you understand? She stopped eating meat on her pizza. If she can do it at her age, a lifetime of habits, surely you can do it too. And everyone else who is watching, of course you can change.
We can change how we treat nature. Some of us have lots of choices, while some have none at all. Those with the most power have the most responsibility, and most of us can do something. So, what will you do?
What will you do, I never?
He's probably going to make a video about this and make fun of you. And that lady's name, Albert Einstein. Daddy Sume says cringe and has a link.
And I must say that almost everything I've witnessed has been cringe.
Rogel, what have you done?
It was not kek. It was cringe, father.
Fucking cut it out.
Cringe-based cringe cry.
Is pizza vegan? They make vegan pizza, but they gotta replace the cheese and no meat toppings, obviously. And the crust has to make sure it doesn't use, you know.
What a great presentation. Greta Thunberg. Gives a shit. Cares beyond herself. Is not a coward. Defends animals. Is not speciesist. Is not vegan phobic. Is vegan fantastic. Is not spoiled brat, cares about the planet, is not shallow, cares very little about objects.
Is eating ass vegan as long as you have consent? Vork Void, thank you for subscribing for 12 months. Happy anniversary. Says, is it too late to name a sub baby? Am I a bad sub baby daddy? Let's go with... We're gonna go with Greta. In honor of, Greta. Blackwing Hecty says, I love if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device.
Promotes peace.
Did I see the gloriously gay new He-Man trailer? No.
Thank you for being here, everyone. Anybody who knows Einabber, Fraser, talk to him. Help him become vegan. Say
Hello,
to him,
unique cat
hey,
lover.
let's really try this. Let's watch the documentaries first of all. Let's look at them. The important documentaries and the websites you can go to.
If humanity becomes vegan but plants become sentient, what do we eat then? I don't think we need to worry about it. Pyromancer says maybe she should pick up a tablet or a chalkboard for making her lists instead of wasting paper. Burn. Nick says, fire flowers? To Mike Max.
Learn more. Egg-truth.com has a dash in it. Watch Dominion Movement to really understand. Earthlings. Cowspiracy. Seaspiracy. Forks over knives. Most of these are either on Netflix or on YouTube. Want to learn about how to be a vegan athlete? Go to the Game Changers. You can be 100% healthy as a vegan. Watch What the Health. If you're a teenager, watch Okja, or a kid. It's a kid's movie. It's kind of a Disney movie. It's not a documentary, but it's something that you might want to watch one day. Just for fun, I guess.
I would not be a healthy vegan because Oreos are vegan. And that would be all I would eat. Every day. All day.
If you are not sure about how to become vegan and you want some ideas, go to a Facebook group called What Broke Vegans Eat. Sign up there. What Broke Vegans Eat. All you have to do is post
Are
a
Hot
picture of your
Pockets
food.
vegan? They have meatless Hot Pockets. Vegan Hot Pockets. Let me see if the, like, the outside, the crust, I don't know if the crust is, I don't see any official ones. Looks like people are just making, like, homemade ones, so they must not. There are, I think, I've seen Baja with some, they're like off-brand vegan Hot Pockets, so they definitely exist. Yeah, see, plant-based Philly cheesesteak, so they exist, just not actual Hot Pockets brand. Daddy Sume says, can we eat bread? I don't think bread can be vegan. You need to mass murder yeast to make it. Blackwing Hecty says, I'm pretty sure Baja wouldn't let you do that. Mike Max says, when you realize many vegetables and fruits aren't vegan because bugs are killed by pesticides. And Morok Ben Eoth says, are the sounds of the damned vegan? Are the souls of the damned vegan? I don't know, are they consenting to be eaten by you?
And then you can talk and just go there and look. If you want to just...
Oh, the 500-calorie mac and cheese pot pie. Oh, they discontinued making that. That stuff was so good.
Look, that's fine. Just scroll through and just check out all the interesting, fascinating recipes that people come up with who don't have a lot of money. There's no excuse for animal abuse. Absolutely none. Everyone can do something.
Are titty Skittles vegan? I think... Actually, Baja, are hormones vegan? I think you said they cultivated some kind of bacteria or something that's able to produce hormones that they use for medications, as opposed to back in the day when they used to actually, like, take them from animals. Robert Morley says, sorry I'm late. Just so busy today. Thanks for your hard work. Thanks for the bits.
Thanks for watching. Thank you very much to Greta Thunberg, who is an amazing animal rights defender. I'm so proud of her. If you're not following her, go ahead and check her out on Twitter. Look how you spelled her name. Greta Thunberg.
Medicine capsules come from animal byproducts.
Again,
Probably gelatin.
those of you who are still following iNabber, talk to him. Chat with him. Say, hey, it's time to be vegan. It really is. You're not going to lose your followers. Fraser, you're not going to lose your followers.
I don't think he's concerned he'd lose followers if he became vegan. What?
I know you don't think you're brave enough. Maybe honestly at heart you are a psychopath who doesn't care. But on the off chance that you're not, watch those documentaries. Like, really watch them. Be kind. Be brave. Be brave. Be vegan from now on. Coming up on screen, you're going to see a bunch of other videos. If you haven't yet watched them, be curious. Click on them. Check out that Vegan Teacher's site. We review these kinds of videos all the time. We do all kinds of amazing work here. We talk about food, we talk about the animals, we talk about the environment.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I gotta stop the cat from... I left the bathroom door open. I can't leave the bathroom door open. If I do, my kitty Cassia will pee in the sink or the shower. Pyromancer says, I got a full body cringe when she talks to people like they're children. I know.
About health. We talk about people that are amazing animal rights activists.
Why? What do you mean, why? Do you think I was like, Cassia, why do you keep peeing in the sink? And she explained it? I don't know.
And those who are vegan phobic, who are cowards. And we try to help them, try to guide them. Sometimes we're extra sweet and kind if we think they're just new, and sometimes we really kick their ass if they should know better, and they're despicable.
Yikes. Nick says Cassie explains
Fraser,
it all.
iNabber, you've been to this class a few times now. You're really overdue. Okay? It's really time. Follow the videos on the screen. Subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Find below the subscribe button and just press on it. And then press the notification bell so you can be here with us when we do show new videos. We can all learn together. I'm learning all the time. This is a school of life for all of us. We're all learning. We all get inspiration. This girl inspires me. I know that I inspire others. One day you will inspire others too. Hang in there and be vegan. Thanks a lot for watching. And again, to those of you who are having their Happy Vegan Declaration Day, so proud of you. Take care, everyone.
Stop the recording. Stop it. No? Okay. Not gonna edit the... Okay. That's cool. Oh god, she did another video already.
Hello everybody, welcome to class. We have some new vegans. We're gonna play C, we're gonna play the G chord and the F chord, and we're gonna read our new names. Alright, there's always been people telling me that, because if you have a documentaries, Cowspiracy.
Moments going on, that these I got from Amazon. A lot of my closet is very, very old.
Is this going to be about leather products, probably?
Although it may...
Do I know how vegetarians are viewed in the vegan community? I don't know. Maybe Baja knows? Mike Mack says she's like a cringe version of a QAnon follower, as if QAnon followers aren't already cringe.
Seem like I have a lot of shit. It is consumed over 10 years. I mean, if you guys remember, like 10 years ago in my bedroom in my parents' house, I had a bag tree with like all of my handbags, my Balenciagas, my Michael Kors, my Coach bags, and all...
Okay, here's a...
The Poetic Fox says, okay, I feel bad for the harsh language. I'm sorry, Hannah. She just reminds me of a terrible teacher I once had who would treat me like I couldn't learn anything because of my ADHD. I'm sorry. She comes, yeah, I could see how that could be triggering. Yikes. One Speedy Yoshi says, I just wanted to apologize about my Muanon pun. It was awful. Or should I say, aw bull.
Another sort of alarm when somebody starts naming brand names. So you're not, that's an alarm. We're not talking about, she's saying, okay, I need this bag for camping and I need this bag for, you know, a backpack for when I go. Come out of the closet, everyone. Be yourself.
House I'm living in right now. So this is a lot of going on, but it is so many memories and so valuable to me. So a lot of my...
Okay, so this in a way I kind of understand when you have an item that brings back memories for you. Right? You have some things like, I don't know, a certain shirt you wore. We should not be obsessed.
Timeout one Speedy Yoshi again. MH Dark
Obsessed
Beast has demanded it.
Items
with 65,000 channel points.
What? Oof.
One Speedy Yoshi.
If you're going to be obsessed
See you
with
soon.
anything, it should be obsessed with something that is beyond yourself. You are, let's say, obsessed with helping people who are sad, who are homeless, or helping the animals who are stuck on factory farms in concentration
All right.
camps.
I'm done with Vegan Teacher for today. Bryson Gray did an 40-minute stream about talking about the Bible. He's very homophobic. Let's see how it is. Goth Geek Gaming wants me to time out MH Dark Beast with 65,000 channel points. Hey, what goes around comes around. You know how it is.
Okay, we on? We on? Are we on? Yes, we are on. Okay.
Bryson, is that a woman I see? Are you married or are you living in sin? You monster.
I'm glad. I'm glad. What up, old school pizza? What up, y'all? What's up, everybody? What up, everybody?
Robert Morley asks, is that his mom? And then looked a little young to be his mom. Bardlock Moses says his mom looks young. Daddy
Y'all,
Sume
the
says,
call-in show-
okay, time out. Go look at the comments in that vegan video. She has spammed her own comments, like 80 comments are all her own. I'm good. Hold on. Let me bring these people back. What was the other one? Oh, we're on a hype train. Nice. Sorry. I know this is not the most thrilling thing to look at. I'm just trying to time out these people. Okay.
Oh, maybe tonight. What's up, everybody? What's up?
Logarth says the hoodie he's wearing isn't MAGA, it's Masa. Nope. Nope. Disavow. I disavow that comment. Nope. Mike Mack says when he realizes the book his read, it was used as an excuse. When he realized the book his read, it was used as an excuse to slave others. The Bible, yes, it was used as an excuse to enslave others. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits says hype. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? My call-in show
Naps and
may
Mimics,
be
thanks for
tonight,
subscribing for 5 months.
but I'm
Says
going on
halfway
the
to a
kill
stream, baby,
tonight.
already.
More on the kill stream. Let me see. So y'all can watch me there, and then I might postpone the call-in show. Let me see.
Level 1 of the hype train complete. Thank you.
When is the... So it's at 10:30 Eastern time. I'll be on the Ethan the Ralph Retort, the kill show.
Oh yeah, he's going on the kill stream, which is a literal neo-Nazi stream, so that's great.
I'll be on that. You found my release through my music. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's up, everybody? I'm waiting to get like 10 other people in here and get in here because what I'm about to say is very important. This is not going to be a real long live, but it's going to be important, and a lot of y'all may be offended. But we're going to get into it. But before I get into that, Y'all, I think this maybe it is Tuesday, and my album is still top 10 on iTunes rap album charts and still top 10 on Amazon.
That is true. I looked that up when he tweeted that because I couldn't fucking believe it. It's true.
I rap album charts. I'm trying to keep it there.
Bardlock Moses says, it sucks having to make money off your tokenism. Yeah.
The whole week. I think this may be the longest I've been in top 10. So if you haven't got the album, like if you have $10.
Yeah, he puts out an album like every month. It is crazy how many albums he puts out. Wow, okay, Robert Morley gifting 10,000 bits like a madman. Thank you. Holy shit, says, let's level up this hype train. Your bit sugar daddy is here, yo. That already got us to... That jumped us immediately to level 5. We did it. We're at 140% of level 5. Robert Morley. Clutch. Thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Seriously. I really, really appreciate it.
To spare. Do it on iTunes or Amazon, please. Because streaming helps a little bit, but we're independent. So the best way to help us is obviously...
grifting the album.
Buying it on iTunes and Amazon.
And one Speedy Yoshi says, I hate my moral code so much. I'm black and gay, and my family is wealthy. I could be rolling in dough being a right-wing grifter. Dang my loving parents who instilled me with a good moral code. Well, I'm glad that you're not a grifter. I appreciate that you appreciate my content, Robert Morley. Thank you. Bardlock Moses says, wish I could be a sugar daddy. Well, you did it in a little way, right? 100 bits. There you go. That's being... You're a sugar uncle, which is very close. MW1642, thanks for 100 bits.
Trey with the $5. Your music speaks to the soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. James the Baller, what's up, bro? Okay. So listen, we about to get started, and what I'm about to say is very important. And by the way, before anybody gets offended,
Daddy Sume asks, "What am I, Hannah? You're the person who sits in the corner and watches." E-Tune says, aw, E-Tune says, I'm too fat and bi to grift. Hey, I'll have you know, I'm also bi and larger than I'd like to be. But I'm doing a show. Is doing a show grifting? No, I'm not grifting. Fryser burn with 100 bits. Hype train completion hype. And Pyromancer says 100 is enough to buy a sugar daddy, at least.
Or if anybody...
If I could be a grifter, what would it be? Good question. I'd either do... I don't want to hang out with evangelicals, so probably not this. But you could either do the... I was once an atheist and now I've come to the light, and let me come speak at your church and talk about how atheists are all Satanist, you know, baby killers. Or I could do the Blair White thing. I definitely have to... Well, let's not go into that. I would take steps to do the Blair White thing, but I would never do that again, because I have morals. One Speedy Yoshi says, I want you to use my bits to buy Baja a PlayStation 5. Oh wait, they're forever out of stock. I could have bought a PlayStation 5 like 2 weeks ago. I found them in stock, but I'm saving money because later this month, Baja and I are working on buying a house together, and I need to save that money for a down payment. Puka the Duka says, if I was a grifter, I'd be a pet psychic. Oh, that's not bad. Ooh, ghost hunter. That'd be pretty good.
Attempts to be offended, please listen. I'm not gonna give not one opinion. I'm not giving any opinion. There's no opinion I'm gonna give.
Good for me and my impulse control. Honestly, if nothing else, if nothing else, Baja should know how much I love her, because my impulse control is generally not that great. It's gotten better, but like, I love her so much, and know that we need to buy a house, that I didn't buy a PlayStation 5. That's love. Morok says, if I was a grifter, I could either do the pastor thing, or I could do alt medicine. I used to be a witch and focus on herbalism shit. Fun fact, most of it is shit. Shock.
What I'm about to say is straight Bible. So if you get mad, Christians, because Christians have a habit of getting mad. I'm a follower of Christ too, but I don't get angry. You're not getting mad at me. You're not getting mad at me. You're getting mad at the Bible. Ratings with a $20, yo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you have already bought the album, thank you so much. Where can you find Bible verses added to the Bible? So,
when was the last you made a video on this guy? Weeks? I don't know.
Here's the thing about the Bible verses that was added. We don't have the original manuscripts of the New Testament. Probably because people burned them or something. I don't know the reason why, so I'm not going to act like I know the reason why. But what I do know is Matthew, if you look at ancient writings about Matthew, it couldn't have been written in Greek. It was written in Hebrew-style language, which is most likely Aramaic. So that's why people can get away with it. But we do have early...
Bryson Gray, the biblical scholar. I love it.
Manuscripts, and we do have manuscripts after that where verses were added.
I just noticed his hoodie says "Make America Straight Again" on it. Oh God.
So anybody can look at that stuff. BWE $2 with the $2. I see you. We need it. Yes sir. Yes sir. So I posed a question on Twitter.
What type of person gives this guy money? His content is shit. Homophobes.
Twitter. The other day. Yesterday. I didn't give an opinion. I just posed a biblical question. I posed a biblical question, y'all. I said, does God hear the prayers of sinners? I didn't ask that God forgive them. I asked God, does God hear the prayers of sinners?
Has John Doyle done anything lately? You haven't covered him in a while. He moved to Texas, so he hasn't uploaded a video in about a month. He was setting up his new studio. Tomorrow, his first new video in his new studio is supposed to come out. So we'll cover that in the next Chud Watch. Pyromancer says, that's what someone's cheer earlier was pointing out, but I think you took the acronym the wrong way. Gotcha.
Trey, thank you so much for the $15, brother. And once again, I'm telling y'all this, not to stir up strife for anything. I'm genuinely testing to see if people care about...
He has been doing stuff with the Blaze, too, on that... Oh, gosh. What's the channel? Slightly Offensive or something?
Bible? Or do they care about their opinions? Do they care about the Bible? Or do they care about opinions?
I love that Bryson Gray believes that his interpretation of the Bible is the interpretation, and anyone who doesn't read the Bible the exact same way as him is clearly a heretic who's espousing their opinion, but his opinion is not an opinion, it's a fact. It's a very weird lack of self-awareness. Like, literal wars have been fought over the interpretation of the Bible and Scripture, but Bryson thinks, like, he's nailed it. He knows exactly what the Bible means about everything. There's no debate.
Do they care about the Bible, or do they care about opinions? And what I've noticed, you said, was that a tweet today? No, it was yesterday. And what I've noticed is people genuinely don't care about the Bible. Nobody gave me scripture. Everybody, you know. So if you go to the story about the blind man, if you go to the scripture about the blind man, by the way,
Ben Eoff says, I went to seminary. Bible professors couldn't agree on anything.
The blind man instantly was sent to go to the authorities, and they were asking him questions about how did Jesus, do this. And of course, the other Pharisees didn't like Jesus, so they spent a lot of time trying to debunk what he was saying. Now, the Pharisees said, we know that God spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from where he is. So they're saying, we know Moses, but this Jesus person you're talking about, we don't know. The blind man said to them, why herein is a marvelous thing, that ye know not from where he is, and yet he hath opened my eyes. So this is the blind man defending Jesus. And the blind man said, now we know that God does not hear sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth. Now the point of the blind man saying this is because they're trying to say that Jesus didn't come from God. The blind man is defending Jesus, saying he has to have come from God, because if he didn't come from God, he wouldn't be able to heal me, because God only answers the prayers of people that does his will.
Listening to Bryson opine on this is mind-numbing. I'll skip ahead in a second. Morok says, I read that one. TJ Ascension, thanks for subscribing for 2 months. Fast Lunacy says, it's almost like the Bible contradicts itself all the time, and so it's unreliable for concrete answers. Mike Mack says, I'm saving my money for a PS5 Slim. Also, one of the commandments say to love thy neighbor, Bryson. You're not doing that. One Speedy Yoshi says, who was the greatest financier in the Bible? Noah. He was floating his stock while everyone was in liquidation. I want to die.
God doesn't hear the... A lot of y'all know the verse where he says he didn't come to change the law but fulfill it. But I don't think a lot of people will read after that, because this is a very important verse. So if you want to read the entire speech of Jesus, I think this is the longest speech Jesus did in the Bible. Starting at Matthew chapter 5, verse 3, if you want to, of course. But I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. That's where I'm going to start.
There's a part in the Bible where a kid gets mauled by bears because they made fun of a bald man. Yeah. They come and they're like, come out, ye bald head. Come out, ye bald head. And God sends bears to eat the children. I love the Bible.
To Bible out, or if you have a Bible near...
I want to say it was Elisha. Or maybe Elijah.
Matthew
I
chapter 5, verse 17. I'm going to start here. But Jesus' speech starts at Matthew 5:3. Okay, but I'm going to read this for y'all. This is Jesus speaking. Think not that I am come to destroy.
All right, I'm already bored with Bryson's bullshit. What about a speech from Elliot Hulse saying make women wives again?
We could win this war.
We can win this war?
Okay, well, joining us from Orlando, Florida, is the man in that clip, Anthony Dream Johnson, who says he wants to abolish feminism and make women great again.
No, but it also says, with a trademark, make women great again for women. Always great.
Make women great again.
They're going to do a 3-day seminar for women led by all men.
In mansplaining news, a 3-day conference for women.
I heard about this. Who did I see make a video about this? Someone made a video about this conference, and they were dunking on it so hard. It was so funny. When's the next Bible study? Soon.
Women, led by men, hopes to make women great again.
How the 22 convention...
Was it this guy? Yes, Curtis Connor. I watched the Curtis Connor video on this.
Will
it was
make
funny.
You the
Curtis Connor's a funny guy.
Greatest you ever. Raise your femininity by 500%.
First of all, how is a man supposed to tell a woman how to be the ultimate woman?
Who was the first drug addict in the Bible? Nebuchadnezzar. He was on grass for 7 years.
Women need to be taught how to be great again.
Oh,
Not my words.
We do. Like how to land a husband, how to lose weight, how to pop out a bunch of kids.
Why do men think they need to fix the problems of women?
Well, it says the world's ultimate event for women.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida, that's going to be the scene of the crime. It's mansplaining palooza. And say no to the toxic bullying feminist dogma.
Taught by men to make women great again.
Taking the stage now is the founder of the 22 convention. You're in for a treat, Mr. Anthony Dream Johnson.
Anthony Dream Johnson.
Anthony Dream Johnson.
The first president of the manosphere.
It's run by all men, which promises to, quote, make women great again. This course is guaranteed to raise your femininity by 500.
I did not realize that Elliot was at this thing.
Together,
the void calls
we will
and you
make
must
women
answer.
Great again. Excuse me, I'm mansplaining here. She said there's nothing... Welcome back to the 22 Convention 2020 of Orlando, Florida, being held for the first time in history at 21 Summit. And of course, in and of itself, 22 Convention is brand new. Make women great again. Our next speaker is a very good friend of mine. He's been speaking at our events for men and fathers for a couple years now, starting last year at 2019 at the first ever Patriarch Edition. He's actually a father and patriarch of 4, based over in the west coast of Florida. He drove all the way over here to Orlando to speak to you women today.
He has
His
negative
speech is titled,
500%
Make Women
charisma.
Wives Again. Although typically he's known on YouTube for making men strong again. He actually has over 2 million followers. He's one of the biggest YouTubers in Florida and the United States, around the world. An amazing man, a strong father, and a radical father, just like his dad. His dad's badass too.
Isn't this basically
Anyway, without
Congress?
further ado, please let me welcome for the first time ever to the 22 Convention stage, Elliot Hulse.
Orlando lost so many conventions because of COVID, so I guess they're desperate.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for such a unique type of conversation. Men talking to women about women stuff, right? So the title of my talk here today is Make Women Wives Again. It seems to be people aren't getting married anymore. A big part of what I do is I teach men how to be strong. But as a result, we also have the other side, where women don't necessarily need to be strong like men, but do the best that they can to be the best wives they could be if marriage is going to work. So that's where I get my title from. Before I continue, or before I go on, I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am. Elliot Hulse, I'm a strong man, I'm a strength coach. I have a gym called Strength Camp. I teach men.
Oh, look, you got a little picture of your YouTube plaque. That's nice. I have one of those too, except it's the 100,000 one.
How to be strong. That's what I do. That's what I am. I have over 2 million YouTube subscribers. That came about from a long process of starting at the bottom.
Someone get me 1 million YouTube subscribers stat. Go tell people about me, goddammit.
And working hard. I started training athletes out of the back of my van using trash, used tires, sandbags, barbells. I would train them in the parks. And it was a tough time, you know. I had a family and we were deeply in debt, and I just stuck with it. And I was able to pull us up out of the gutter, training people with trash, to that shiny golden button that they give you when you get...
Imagine if I could have 1 million Twitch subs. If I had 1 million Twitch subs, I'm pretty sure after like 3 months I would stop working. 3 months of that, I'd be like, I can probably retire. Tyron says, this reminds me of that conservative dating site that advertised Make America Date Again and then had terrible infosec and didn't secure any of their user data. Mike Mack says, Elliot, what does this have to do with fixing women? Speaking events, usually you're like, here's my background, blah, 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 blah. That happens. Fast Lunacy says, let's get Hannah 2 million subs so she can get on this stage next year and show these men what's what.
1 million subscribers. So I train men how to be stronger physically, of course. I'm a strength coach, but I also mentor to their hearts and to their souls. And so a big part of the reason why I was successful on YouTube is
Profane
because I have a lot
Priestess
to
says,
say in terms of how to
Minecraft
be
me.
strong men
Please Minecraft
in
me.
their
I can't do
lives.
this, Hannah. It's so cringe. I'm sorry.
I've
Is that a
also
kitty? Hi, baby.
married my high school sweetheart. This is myself and Colleen, my wife, when we were 14 years old. We started dating in 1994. So we've been together for 27 years. We just celebrated our 18-year marriage anniversary. And that's us now. And that's our family. I got 3 daughters and a son. So we're kind of good at this. We kind of know what we're doing.
You hate that part of a conference. You want to get to the point.
You know, how we go about having such a wonderful, long-term relationship, marriage,
He just has
family.
Like, I don't like, why can't I remember his name? Terrence? Elliot. Blanked on that, sorry. Elliot, in his YouTube videos, I disagree with him and he's a douche, but, you know, he has sort of a charisma in front of the camera. I can see how he got 2 million subs, even if his views are abhorrent. He has no charisma talking in front of people. This is terrible. Morok says his poor daughters. I know. Mike Max says, I personally hate... Oh, already read that.
And I'm going to offer you guys some insights as to, you know, what makes Colleen a unique wife. What makes Colleen a great wife. What makes it so that we can last so long. So I get a lot of questions from young men. That's what, essentially I do on YouTube. They send me questions, I answer the questions. Call me Yo Elliot. Yo Elliot. And they would, ask me a question, and I would answer it. Well, every once in a while I'll get a question from a young lady. And so about a year ago, actually exactly a year ago, I got a great question from a young woman. She wanted to know, Elliot, what are the top 4 qualities you appreciate about your wife that young women as myself can grow and develop?
Mike Mack says he's a beta in public, and Bardlock Moses says that's a shithole hotel on I Drive. That's not any convention center.
So
okay.
I wrote a blog post. I thought it was a great question, and I really wanted to do my best to deliver as much value as I could to answer her question. So I wrote a pretty long blog post called The Making of a Good Wife. And if you want to go read it later, you can do that, but my entire talk here is just basically reiterating what is on that blog post. So the first thing, so what I did was, before just giving those 4 points, I had to set a little bit of a background that makes our situation unique, Colleen and I's situation unique. Number one, because we started dating at age 14. So that means we skipped the whole promiscuity thing, where we weren't out there having sex with lots of other people throughout high school and college and in our 20s.
And that's fine, but judging other people for sleeping with other people consensually is, like, childish. So get over it. Ginger Snip Snap, thanks for subscribing for 5 months on a 1-month streak, says, that's a good cat right there. I bet she can take a pet like no problem. Yeah, she's great. Okay, he's being very boring.
She won her own power. She remembers. She does not argue with me. She does not fight with me. Life. They've been through. In there is.
All right. Goodbye, Elliot. That's probably it for today. We've been going for a while. Did you just lick the microphone? That was a gross noise. I heard that very clearly in my ear because I can hear myself through the headphone part. Is Jake on yet? I know he was gonna stream. Trying to pick who I'm gonna raid, sorry. Altered Rin is on, so is Xandris, Antipodian Squid. They're all playing Sea of Thieves. I wonder if they're playing together. Porcelain Giant, thanks for subscribing with a 4-month streak. Okay, I'm gonna eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Dutch a tiger, Squid. Squid wins. Alright, I hope everyone has a really good night. I don't normally stream on Fridays. I might tomorrow, depending on how tired I am after electrolysis, because Baja's busy this weekend and can't make it here, so I'm going to be here alone anyway. So I may do a late stream. I don't know, though. Either way, I'll be back Saturday for sure. So I'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful evening.